Hey guys, this one is another Troubled Minds classic. Like I said, I'm going to keep putting these up as long as I don't get complaints. So if you guys have complaints or feedback on any of this stuff, I'd love to hear it. troubledmindsradio@gmail.com. You can reach me anytime, and I'll do my best to answer everybody. Now, the thing is this. Today, in particular, I had the case of the bubble guts, for lack of a better term, and I took the night off, but I made sure that I came late here to put one of these shows up from the old days. So I'm going to keep putting up Troubled Minds Classic, like I said. If we have complaints, you know where to reach me. Thanks, guys, for listening. You're the best. Catch you soon. The topic is the 1-year anniversary of Space Force.
But I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody's checking it out.
With the rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. They were too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
So you said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. That's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0 1 1 1 0
doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Yo ho, yo ho. Welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. And hello to all of you who also have troubled minds. What's up? It is Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time to talk about all the things we're not allowed to talk about, which is, of course, aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, the 24-hour news cycle, the government, academia, censorship, the technocracy. And it doesn't seem to end, does it? The list goes on, and the list goes on. And here we are thinking about things in this world, wondering, is this truly the upside down? Is this really how things are supposed to be? Are we supposed to ignore the fact that none of this makes sense and not cry out into that digital darkness that was mentioned in the intro there? I don't know. I think that's not how we're supposed to do this. I think we're supposed to do this completely different. I think the mainstream media does it horribly, almost criminally bad. I think that the government does it definitely criminally bad. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. What's it leave us, right? This is talk. This is a talk show. This is talk, right? So what? So what? What do we hope to gain here? I think about that often, and I wonder, Is this helping anybody out there? Is there anybody out there that maybe this will get through to? That will start to realize maybe someday, somehow, simply words spoken in earnest can make a change. I don't know. I don't know if that's true, but I can hope. I can continue to hope, and I can continue to talk, and we can continue to get together and be good to each other and do what we do. And that's what this show's all about. Among all the other things, that's what this show's all about. So, yes, all right. Well, as many of you know, this show has changed. We used to do the news first, and we're not going to do that anymore. We've cut that out, and it's turned into its own show entirely. So if you haven't caught any of that, we have a week in the books. We did 5 news days this week, 5 complete other shows, Sunday through Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time on Twitch, and then they get chopped up and sent out to YouTube and everywhere else. So yeah, if you guys follow YouTube, you probably saw them on there. I saw many of you over on the Twitch streams. There's a lot of good stuff going on. And dare I say, this is actually part of a marketing plan. We finally have a legitimate marketing plan. Anyway, so if you guys haven't, if you're not aware, there is a new show called, what's it called? I forgot. Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. It's an entire podcast of its own. Please check it out. And that's why we're not doing the news. We're not doing the news tonight because it's whole other show. It's all by itself now. Okay. So for a couple reasons, we'll talk about that as we go. If here's the important thing, right? So here's what we are going to do. We've cut out the news, but what we're going to do instead is we're going to do like we always do. We'll do shout outs in just a sec. We're streaming on Periscope, which is part of Twitter. We're streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on DLive, and all the places that matter, right? We cut Twitch out because they need exclusivity for the funding, so et cetera, so on, blah, blah, boring details, but it's important because it's a long-term goal and it's an important thing. Okay, but here's the deal. We're going to do shout-outs, and then we're going to talk about aliens, conspiracy, and the paranormal. It's as simple as that. That's what the show's about, and we're going to just cut it to the chase, and so let's go. Let's do it. Oh, did I mention? This is important, too. This part's really important. The show is live. So if you're listening on Friday night, it's December, what the hell day is it? I never know what actual day it is. I know it's Friday. Friday, December 18th. If you're listening on Friday, December 18th, sometime in the middle of the night, we're live. And you can be part of the show. Just pick up the phone, dial this phone number, 702-957-1037. That is 702-957-1037. You can find that phone number and the Discord link and join the show either way. You can find both of those, the phone number and the Discord link, at troubledminds.org. Simple as that, right? Simple. Good stuff. Easy peasy. And that's what's up. So let's do shout-outs and let's get to some aliens. We're going to talk about Space Force tonight. Yeah. All right. After 2 shows of the Galactic Federation, now we move to Space Force, and you'll see why. All right, let's go. We're going to do shout-outs. We're starting on Facebook. William gets first on Facebook. What's up, buddy? Thanks for showing up. William's from Singapore. We got Tamron, a close second from South Africa. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's see. What else do we got? We got Beechwood. What's up? Thanks for being here. We got Paul from Iowa. Hello. Cray, what's up? Haven't been here in a while. Welcome back, Cray. Nice to see you. Timothy, Tinfoil Timothy University. Thanks for showing up tonight. I saw you were streaming. I just tried to hop on your stream. There was some kind of music I was trying to listen to, and there was nobody there. It ended right as I hopped on. Let's see what else. Cray was a top fan back in the Frank days. You're still a top fan. Always a top fan in my heart. Brett, what's up? Tuning in from Dallas, Texas. Ready for the discussions tonight. Fantastic. Derek from Saskatchewan. Look at all the countries. The world over. We're doing the world over, guys. Elizabeth from windy, wet, locked down Oregon. Oregon's worse than California now. How does that happen? How do you out California? That doesn't make any sense. It's a brandy night, says Elizabeth. Heck yes. Peter, what's up? How you doing? Thanks for showing up tonight. Let's see. Mary from North Dakota. Hello, Mary from North Dakota. We've got Ronald. This music has a lot of similarities to the band Whitesnake. Oh, you ain't heard nothing yet. Peter, let's see. 7 years. I'm trying to wake up the world, to tell the world we're not alone in the universe, and people laughed at me, but the truth is coming. Love and light. Yes, sir. Welcome to you're in the right place. Ronald, wondering if that's the control room for the closed Belfront nuclear plant. What's that? The big orange swirly thing? I don't know what that is. What's up, Robert? Thanks for being here. Top fan +1, and he shared. I saw him sharing there on Facebook. Please share this, guys. It does help spread the word. It gets people interested in the show, and they can come join us and have a good conversation. Robert says, room divider kept falling over like something kicked it. Then the cat hissed. She never does that. Then bolted in fear up the steps to hide upstairs. I do believe I had a visit from a deceased family member trying to get my attention. That, or he was in the room. These things happen, don't they? These things happen, don't they? Cray, what's up? Oh, I mean, we need weed. Yes. Yeah, okay. Only in jurisdictions where it's legal. Yes, sir. Candy from Las Vegas. How you doing? Thanks for showing up. Candy, my neighbor. Peter, what's up? 4:28 Ireland Standard Time. In the morning, Ireland, the world is listening. Aliens exist. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Let's see. Ronald, what's happening? John, damn, I'm not getting any audio. Wait. Testing, 1, 2, check. Come on. You got to be getting, come on. Am I talking to myself? Sound check, 1, 2. Please type in the chat. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Test 1, 2. All right, I'm gonna hold off for just one moment here, as everybody settles in, and I actually can know if you guys hear me or not. My stream registers as going out. There don't seem to be any internet problems or dropped frames. I think we're okay. Okay, Eli says we can hear you. All right. Anybody else? Testing 1, 2. How about on Facebook? You guys hearing me on Facebook? What's going on over there? William says, can hear you loud and clear, says Elizabeth. Okay, we're going to keep on going. It sounds like you've been sabotaged, John. I'm sorry, buddy. I can't help you. Try refreshing. Let's see what happens. Refresh the browser. Sherry from the astral plane. How are you? Thanks for showing up tonight. I appreciate it. I see you lurking over there on Twitch as well. You don't say hi, but I see you. I have my ways. Let's see. Who else? Benjamin, thanks for being here. We got Derek, loud and clear. Thank you. Thumbs up, Beechwood. Peter, we can hear you loud and clear. Perfect. Can hear you, but sound not great. Is it not great? Really? That's weird. Oh, okay. Anybody else? Sound not great? That's okay. It's going to have to be whatever it's going to be, because I can't fix it once we start. So, okay. All right. We're done. We're ready. Okay, but you can hear. All right. I promise I'm not chewing gum or anything, so it can't be that. It's nothing to do with that. All right. Is this on the Discord? No. You cannot hear this show on the Discord currently, but you can join the show if you get on Discord. So but what you can do is you can also chat. So in the show chat portion, if you chat, you can actually chat with other people that are on YouTube and Periscope, and I don't think DLive works, but yeah, you can do that. So there we go. Okay, sounds good. Benjamin, Larry, what's up? Thanks for being here. Okay, sound is hurting. Start. I don't know what you mean. Okay. All right. So for some reason, Facebook muted John. He got it figured out. Okay. All right. Anyway, forget all that. What are we doing? Usually, there we go. We got the shout-outs. Usually we do the news. We're not doing news. We're going to just jump straight to aliens. Okay. Now, what we're doing tonight is Space Force. And the reason we're doing Space Force is because it's a 1-year anniversary from the actual inception of this grand institution that we call the United States Space Force. Going to play some good audio clips and look at the past a little bit, and maybe ask why we needed a Space Force. I think it's a little interesting that just this past week, for the last maybe 7 to 10 days, the top news story in the UFO community and maybe the paranormal world at large was exactly the Galactic Federation. And we talked that into the ground 6 ways from Sunday, 2-3+ hour shows. So if you missed that, go check that out. But it's a little bit weird that right after that hits the news, and there's talk of a Galactic Federation and a Council of 9 and aliens watching over us, that just shortly thereafter is the 1-year anniversary of Space Force. Oh boy, right? What? So the question that was in my mind is, oh, okay, white noise a bit crackly. I got you. Okay, I'm going to have to find a way to fix that. But okay, gotcha. Loud and clear otherwise. All right, fantastic. Okay, so here's the thing. Space Force has a 1-year anniversary, which we're going to go to right now and play. Let's see. Let's start with one of our favorites, the current president of the United States, talking about the creation of Space Force. Here we go. So we're going to play this. And this is how this all kind of started, whenever it started, and then we'll continue to talk about the 1-year anniversary, and they've named the actual soldiers of Space Force, if you missed that news. So here we go. Let's go through some of this, and then we'll get into why this happened. Is this necessary? And if it is, what the hell are they trying to protect us from? Which comes on the heels of the Galactic Federation news, which has kind of caught the world by storm, which seems a little bit strange to me. Does that seem strange to you? Do you believe in coincidence? Or do you believe things are done and things happen for a reason, let's say? All right, here we go. Let's play this clip. This is Trump announcing the creation of the Space Force.
When it comes to space, too often, for too many years, our dreams of exploration and discovery were really squandered by politics and bureaucracy, and we knocked that out. So important for our psyche, what you're doing. It's going to be important monetarily and militarily, but so important for right up here, the psyche. We don't want China and Russia and other countries leading us. We've always led. We've gone way far afield for decades now, having to do with our subject today. We're going to be the leader by far. We're behind you 1,000%. When it comes to defending America, it is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space. So important. Very importantly, I'm hereby directing the Department of Defense and Pentagon to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a Space Force as the 6th branch of the armed forces. That's a big statement. I am instructing my administration to embrace the budding commercial space industry. We are modernizing out-of-date space regulations. They're way out of date. They haven't been changed in many, many years. And today we're taking one more step to unleash the power of American ingenuity. In a few moments, I will sign a new directive to federal departments and agencies. They will work together with American industry to implement a state-of-the-art framework for space traffic management.
All right, hear what he said. Space traffic management. Interesting, the terms, right? The terms that people use. And what does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Okay, so that was Donald Trump actually announcing that he had decided he was going to implement the Space Force. They were signing the documents necessary, and the government was going to do it. We're going to do it, right? And for what? To not just have Americans in space, for Americans to be dominant in space. And what did he say again? One more. I think we have to hear that. Just the end of that one more time, because I'm not going to get it. I'm going to forget.
State-of-the-art framework for space traffic management.
Space traffic management. Space traffic management. Somebody write that down. Space traffic management. What the hell does that mean? All right. So, does that mean satellites floating around? Does that mean the junk that's out there in orbit? Or does that mean the George Jetson cars? They're zipping to and fro. Yes. I tell you what, there's something weird, right? There's something weird about that. Okay. And so it's the 1-year anniversary of actually the creation of Space Force, okay? And that's why we're talking about it tonight. And then, oddly enough, like I said, on the heels of the Galactic Federation, I was looking into some of the past presidents and maybe some of the things that they've said about getting into space, right? About Kennedy and Reagan was actually very, very much into getting into space and doing some things in space. And he made some actual, lots of comments that you guys have probably heard. They've been regurgitated in the UFO community for a very long time. So we're going to play some of that stuff and see what they were looking at back in the 80s, even earlier, back in the 60s, 50s. And yeah, that's what's up. That's what we're doing tonight. So, okay. Strap yourselves in. That's the conversation. That's where we started. We're starting with Donald Trump, and we're going to go back to Kennedy, and we're going to go everywhere in between. If you want to be part of the show tonight, if you have comments on this, on the 1-year anniversary of Space Force and what this actually means, if you have a theory on what it is for, or traffic, what did he say? Space traffic. I don't know what the hell he said. I forgot already. But what the hell is this? What's going on? Give me a call, 702-957-1037. We have no Joe tonight from Florida. He pinged me earlier and said he had to get up super early, so he wasn't going to be here tonight. So the first person to call tonight is going to be you. You, that's right. You out there listening, We can't wait for Joe tonight. It's going to be you. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, and we'll put you on the show. You can talk to me, talk to whoever else might be listening, and I'll be nice to you. Oh, crap. We didn't do the other shout-outs on YouTube. All right, let's do that, and then we'll continue with this. See, I'm late. Holy smackerel. I'm all screwed up because I'm doing that other show, and I haven't really settled into a groove over there yet, and it's throwing me off everywhere. Okay, Eli gets first on YouTube. What's up? Thanks, buddy. We got Cedric, a quick close second. We got Lizzie Dags. What's up? Thanks for being here. Super Vike, our thumbs down captain. Thanks for showing up. Game Vet 02 out on the road. Thanks for truck driving and driving safe. Hands on the wheel, eyes on the road, or vice versa. Let's see. What do we got? Penny from the UK. Thanks for being here. We got who else do we got? Let's see. Super Vike, Eli. We got what's up, Eli? Eli says we can hear you. Yep. Super Vike says we're good. Everybody's good. All right. Who else? Let's see. We got somebody else. Many subjects answered. Hello, Mike. You okay? I'm okay. Are you okay? Are you okay? Everybody's okay. All right. Okay. White noise, bit correctly. Okay. Traffic lights in space, says Super Mike. Yeah, exactly. Like, okay. So what traffic are we trying to handle in space? I have no idea. Crazy stuff here, right? Crazy start. Let's see. Yeah, space traffic. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. John says that the Netflix show Space Force was cool. I didn't see it, actually. William says they will be called Guardians. Yes, exactly. Ronald says, personally, I can't wait to see what kind of craft Space Force is going to use. Well, that is the question, isn't it? And they're gonna do some kind of traffic thing in space, according to Donald Trump. Let's see. What's the equivalent of a pothole in space? That's another fantastic question. Yeah, I don't know. So those are the questions we're asking tonight. Again, if you want to be a part of the show, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord. You can find both the phone number and the Discord link at troubledminds.org, the official website. And here we go. Let's do some more of this. All right. So there was the first one. There was Donald Trump, and I have to play that again just because I'm going to...
The art framework for space traffic management.
Space traffic management. Okay, there we go. All right. So then we have the Mike Pence version of this. All right. So hold still, relax, take a deep breath. What does this mean? A little more dramatic this time.
When it comes to defending our nation and protecting our way of life, the only thing we can't afford is inaction. The American people deserve our very best, and they will have it. As the President will discuss in further detail in the days ahead, the United States Space Force will strengthen our security, it will ensure our prosperity, and it will also carry American ideals into the boundless expanse of space. While other nations increasingly possess the capability to operate in space, not all of them share our commitment to freedom, private property, and the rule of law. So as we continue to carry American leadership in space, so also will we carry America's commitment to freedom into this new frontier.
Okay. All right. There's a little more Independence Day hype you up, right? Everybody stoked about that? Everybody ready to sign up and join the Space Force? Yeah, me too. All right. So there's that, right? All right, so that was the Mike Pence version. That was the Donald Trump version. This was as they were creating this whole thing and putting it together. Now we have the 1-year anniversary of Space Force. All right, now here's Mike Pence. Is this today? I believe this is today. Let's see. Let's check the date. Yep, this is today. All right, let's see. I got my dates right. Yeah, holy shit, I got my dates right. All right, here we go. This is today. All right, so you heard the dramatic version, you heard the Donald Trump version. Now this is Mike Pence today, talking about the Space Force. Now they've named the soldiers, the troops, the cadets, whatever you want to call them. They've actually named them something. All right, so let's hear again from Mike Pence one more time, and then we'll get to some of the websites and documents, and hopefully hear from you. Let's see what's up. Action.
Welcome to the first anniversary of that branch of our armed forces
that will ensure for generations that America remains as dominant in space as we are on land and sea and air. Welcome to the first anniversary of the United States Space Force. The idea, though, and its conception was not a new one. For more than 50 years, presidents and military leaders had discussed a branch of our military dedicated to ensuring American national security in and from space, but time and again, those efforts faltered. But I would submit to you that it is a tribute to the leadership of our Commander-in-Chief, a tribute to the extraordinary military leadership gathered here today, that this time, with bipartisan support, in just 1.5 years, the United States Space Force was born. It is my honor, on behalf of the President of the United States, to announce that henceforth, the men and women of the United States Space Force will be known as Guardians. Soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians will be defending our nation for generations to come.
Soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Guardians. Guardians of what? The obvious joke here is Guardians of the Galaxy. Am I right? But okay, this just gets a little bit more and more. like okay. Now, are we really living in a simulation? Like, what the heck's going on here? This is not what you'd expect to hear. Not what I expected to hear anyway. Okay, let's see. We got some good comments to read. What's up, Bailey? Thanks for showing up. Yeah, lots of Halo. That's the Halo soundtrack for that. The dramatic Mike Pence reading. Okay, all right. Now let's see. What else do we got? Hold on. So yes, indeed, there is a thing called a Guardian. All right, here it is. Let's go to this. This is from defense1.com, and the actual news agencies or whatever they're called, whatever the newsrooms, whatever they are, propagandist assholes. I don't know. That's what I usually call them. So I don't know what their proper term is anymore. But lots of propagandist assholes reported this because, well, it's Space Force and it happened today, and lots of clicks. So this one is defense1.com, and Space Force troops get a name. The Guardians. VP Pence revealed the moniker for Trump's oft-teased newest military service branch to stand alongside soldiers, airmen, sailors, and Marines. And that would be, of course, the Guardians. 2 days before the U.S. Space Force's first birthday, its troops received their collective name, the Guardians. The new name for military space professionals, announced on Friday by Vice President Mike Pence, may appear to be a play on the Marvel superhero film Guardians of the Galaxy. But Space Force officials said it was a callback to a 1983 motto. What is that motto? Let's see. Let's click that. There we go. Let's see. It says, today, after a year-long process that it produced hundreds of submissions and research involving space professionals and members of the general public, we can finally share you the name, Guardians. The opportunity to name a force is a momentous responsibility. Guardians is a name with a long history in space operations, tracing back to the original command motto of Air Force Space Command in 1983, Guardians of the High Frontier. Okay, there we go. That's where it came from. I didn't know that till I just clicked that link. How about that? They actually have a source. Since its stand-up on December 20th, 2019, the Space Force has grown to about 2,400 active duty personnel, mostly Air Force personnel who were responsible for the military's space mission before the new service was created. In 2021, the Space Force is expected to grow to about 6,400 active duty Guardians. That just sounds so weird, as Army and Navy personnel start transferring into the new service. General J. Raymond, the chief of space operations, said on a call with reporters earlier this week. How about that title? Yeah, I'm the chief of space operations. Jean-Luc Picard. Let's see. Raymond on Sunday will officially become a member of the Joint Chiefs. Nice. The Space Force's first year has been a full-on sprint, said Justin Johnson, a top defense official who is performing the duties of the Assistant Defense Secretary for Space Policy. In addition to the Space Force, there's a handful of new space organizations around the Defense Department. There's the U.S. Space Command, a combatant command that provides space support to military commanders around the world. There's the Space Development Agency, a satellite buying organization that predates the new service. It has ambitious goals to buy one satellite per week. And there's Johnson's Job, a new top-level Pentagon position established by the same law that created the Space Force. Okay, well, the Guardians of the Galaxy. No, the Guardians, what was it? The Guardians of the High Frontier. All right, there you go. This gets better. We got some good comments. All right, so this is live. I want to hear from you guys tonight. I want to hear what you think about this. What's going on? Does this have something to do with that Galactic Federation we've been talking about for the last week or 10 days? Is this something entirely different? Is this a space traffic? I want to say space traffic control, space traffic management. That's the term, space traffic management. As Trump said, what's actually going on here? I think it's fun. I think this is hella fun. Like, what's going on? I have no idea. And if you have a space force, I think let's see. Supervike said, what are they going to fight? If you have a force, they got to fight. The space force has to have someone to fight. Says Supervike, and I couldn't agree more. And yeah, like, ooh, what are they fighting? The space traffic management. Whoa! All right, so let's see. All right, so there we go. All right, Nick Pope tweets this. Nick Pope is the guy from what's his face? He's the guy from the United Kingdom that he was kind of like the United Kingdom's Lou Elizondo. That guy, right? He supposedly worked in the UFO department for the United Kingdom, and then he left, and now he's kind of making his money doing UFO stuff. So here's what he tweeted today. Here's the official notification via the Space Force DoD account of the name by which Space Force personnel will be known. Guardians. It's a great choice, but the question arises. Guardians against who? Or what? Russia? China? Something else? That's the question of the hour, isn't it? Space traffic management. So we've got some terms here. We've got some buzzwords. We've got some jargon. We've got some politicians and some speculative UFO people, and we've got a space force. And it's a year old, and it's about to be 6,400 people deep in 2021. It's going to nearly triple the amount of people in the space force, and they're named Guardians now. Yeah, what is going on? Something's up here, right? Something seemed like it's up. All right, hold on. Let's read some chat. Let's see. I think Sherry. Let's go up here. I think Sherry said that she wants to write some tickets. You want to write some space tickets, right? Are you going to apply? Tamara wants to know, is there going to be a space highway? Sherry says you have to get the council's approval. There you go. Let's see. What else? Ronald says the Oort cloud, a debris field that surrounds our solar system. Let's see. Space Force Commander Steve Carell says, Cray, and a nod to the Netflix. Yeah, I want to write traffic tickets. There you go. Sherry, if I was the commander of Space Force, you're hired. And since the COVID thing, let's ratchet up the quota on the tickets so that we get more revenue. You know, we squeeze the peasants a little harder, a little tighter when they might need it most. But hey, our tax money's getting low too, so get them. Let's see. Ryan says I signed up. What's up, buddy? Thanks for being here. Thanks for signing up. I'm not sure. Oh, for the Space Force, did you actually sign up? That's pretty sweet. Tamron says 50 years. Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to go back probably 50 years and talk about what was happening with this and who were saying these things, because there's some presidents that were saying some surprising things. Okay, so let's see. We're with aliens, people. Okay, says Cray. They are out there. Okay, there you go. What's up, Robert? Says they've been in space for over 30 years. Let's see. Nanu says, Ronald, what's up? Let's see. Who else do we got? They're ready to fight the invisible, says Sherry. Yeah, right. Like, who knows what's going on out there? James, what's up? Says, indeed, lots of aliens on the space. Yeah, good. I want the fastest craft. You got it, Sherry. If I'm the boss, you got it. You got the fastest one with the coolest stripes or whatever you want. You can put a number on it too if you want. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Who else do we got? Bailey says, for what it's worth, the co-author of the Galactic Federation book is mad that everyone is talking about it, and the original source for the content was the Israeli tabloids. Yeah, we talked about that. There's that young lady on Twitter that was kind of been covering this, but nobody else is. Her name's Stina Maria. and Stina Marie, I think. Yeah, anyway, we talked about in the last Galactic Federation, both shows actually. So there's some. Again, is all of this a bunch of BS, or is this really a thing? Is Space Force really a thing? And they're actually, well, if you remember. So actually, hold on. Let's. How are we going to do this? Do we want to go back 50 years, or do we want to go back to when Space Force was created, and why maybe it was created? We had some speculation back then, even. Let's see. What makes the most sense? What's up, Cray? That's a funny comment. Yes, I got some crackling. I'm sorry. I'll have to fix it. I don't know. I got the new mic, and it's much better on my neck and stuff. I don't have to crane and have this little pop filter falling down and stuff. So it's a little bit of crackling. Yes, it is, but hopefully it's tolerable. I'll see if I can get it fixed. I'll see if I can fix it for you. But again, not tonight. Okay, so. All right. There's no stopping China. All right, let's see. The Netflix Space Force. I actually didn't see it. I didn't see that one, but it has a second season coming. Yeah, I figured with the Donald Trump getting thrown out of office here shortly, they would have not renewed that for a second season. So, I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so what do you think so far regarding this Space Force? The Guardians, a nod to Guardians of the Galaxy? Something else? What are they out there to fight? What's going on here? What the hell? Can we make anything of this? Is it just traffic? Is the satellites in orbit? The asteroids floating around out there? The killer Russians and Chinese with their whatever's going on in orbit? Or is there something more? That's the question. I want to hear from you. What do you guys think? Give me a call, 702-957-1037. What do you think is happening with this Space Force business? And is it should we take it seriously, or are we rolling our eyes? What's going on here? I know that many of us that watch this show, that participate in this show, we've seen UFOs with our own eyes. All right? So I laugh. I'm having a good time, but I'm not discounting that possibility that the Space Force was invented for a reason they're not telling us. Yeah. So what do you think? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. TroubledMinds.org is the official website. You can find the phone number and the Discord link there. And, I don't know. You tell me. I want to know. Because inquiring minds want to know. Okay, let's see. Let's go to, hold on. What do we got? How about, let's see. We did Nick Pope. We got, okay, here we go. Let's start here. This is new news. This is hot off the press news, and this is from the Daily Mail. And you guys can laugh about the Daily Mail, but it's a source, and there's another source here too. So here we go. All right, let's go to this now. Now, maybe. What about this reason? All right, so we got the Daily Mail reports this, and this is today, I believe. Yeah, this is today. Alien hunters are investigating a mysterious radio signal from our neighboring star Proxima Centauri, causing the biggest excitement since the WOW signal in 1977. A strange radio signal was first detected by the Parkes telescope in early 2019. It was a short-lived signal, and astronomers can't identify the original source. Astronomers are looking to see if any human-made source could be responsible, and the star is 4.2 light-years from Earth and includes an Earth-like rocky planet. I don't know. What is with this? What's going on here? All right. So researchers from the Breakthrough Listen Project, a $70 million or 70 million pound initiative to find alien life through radio telescopes, have been studying these radio waves since April 2019. Proxima Centauri is 4.2 light years from Earth and has 2 confirmed planets, a Jupiter-like gas giant and a rocky world called Proxima B in the habitable zone of that star. The signal was spotted by the Parkes radio telescope in Australia in April or May of 2020, according to the report in The Guardian. And unlike previous radio bursts, hasn't been attributed to any Earth-based or near-Earth human-created source. So it's not some kind of feedback thing. They don't think it's us at this point. They're wondering what's going on. So, yeah, 4.2 light years away, some sort of signal, mysterious. And so this is the Daily Mail, so we can laugh at the Daily Mail. It's no problem. But there are other sources reporting this. Hold on, let me read just a little bit more of this. So the Proxima b is an Earth-like rocky planet. However, Proxima Centauri is a red dwarf star, and the habitable zone is very close to the star, meaning the planet is likely tidally locked and exposed to intense radiation, making it unlikely any civilization has been able to form, at least on the surface. The radio signal was detected in the 980 megahertz range, and shifts in the frequency detected by the Parkes telescope are consistent with the movement of a planet. Yeah. Like, what's going on here? What's going on here? Any Kardashians in the sidebar? Quick scan. Nope. We're clear. Okay, all right. No Kardashians. This might be real news. All right. So then there's more. There's more of this from the Atlantic. Yep, that's right. Actually, no, this is not the same one. Hold on. There's another one. Hold on. Let me put the phone number up so you guys can't see me fumble embarrassingly through this. All right, here we go. Let's see. Here, this is the one I'm looking for. This is the one. This is from National Geographic. And actually, so now I think that you can probably call that source a little bit better than National Geographic than the Daily Mail, but it's reporting pretty much the exact same thing, right? Because they get them from the same source. Alien hunters detect mysterious radio signal from nearby star. It's almost certainly not an extraterrestrial telegram, they say, but waves that seem to come from the vicinity of Proxima Centauri will help astronomers refine their search techniques. So this one says they don't think it's aliens, but they don't think it's us, so they're trying to figure out what's going on here. So here we go. Let's see. Quote, it's pretty expected that every now and then you'll see something weird, but this is interesting because it's something that's weird that we're having to think about the next steps, says Sophia Sheik, a graduate student at Pennsylvania State University and the breakthrough team member leading the signal analysis. Though Sheik and others strongly suspect that the signal is really human in origin, they suspect it, can't prove it yet. BLC-1 is the most tantalizing detection breakthrough has made so far in its search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI. The team is preparing 2 papers describing the signal and follow-up analysis, which hasn't yet completed. Okay. And yeah, weird, right? The detection was leaked to The Guardian before the research was ready for publication. All right, so we have this from National Geographic. They say that it was leaked to The Guardian, all right, which is, of course, is a crappy news source, propagandist assholes. But it was leaked to The Guardian, 1-year anniversary of Space Force. They named the Space Force cadets or soldiers or whatever they are, Guardians. Are you sure we're not living in a simulation here? What the hell's really going on? All right. So anyway, all right. So now there's some weird stuff with this. Okay, not just that. There's some other weird stuff again, right? Traffic management, space traffic management. Weird, right? Weird. This there's a whole. The more I kept looking at this, the more I kept just smacking my head, going, "What the hell is going on?" There's like this weird synchronicity with in Jupiter and Saturn in that going to form that Christmas star thing in the sky in like a few days. There's some weird shit going on here. Is somebody going to pull the plug to the mainframe and this is a wrap? I don't know what's really going on. I have no idea. Anyway, so with all of this, like the more I kept looking, the more I was going. Okay, I'm not one to be heralding the end of days, but I don't know. I don't know. All right, so let's go. Here's the official Space Force site. If you guys haven't actually seen this, it's an official thing. We looked at this when it first came out a while back, but it's worth another look. I think they are still hiring because they want space professionals, people that have been there before, I guess, or whatever it is. They got locations, videos, photos. They got all kinds of pretty hot stuff here, right? So and they got the COVID-19 protocol right up on top, like any respectable Space Force would have. So pretty good stuff. Let's see. Are they hiring? I think they're still hiring. Careers. Let's check it out. If you guys want to sign up for Space Force, here's how you do it. Space Force, airforce.com/Space Force. And they're hiring right here. The sky is the limit. Or the sky is not the limit. There you go. Long Ranger Highway, says James. Yeah, space traffic management. All right, there you go. There's the actual apply now button up there on the top right if you want to join the Space Force. Okay, so interestingly, space professionals are now called Guardians. It leaked from The Guardian. We have the end of the world. Did I say that? I didn't really mean that. Okay, here we go. The war zone. and more people reporting this because everybody's reporting this. They call us the glitch, says Cray. Yeah, right? the glitch. Yeah, again, right? Yeah. Sherry says quick death. Yeah, right? So you just pull the plug from the mainframe. That's the quick end. That's like dropping us into a black hole or something. Supervike says Space Force really is necessary. Chicoms will be going after our satellites, and that's true. That is true. So we're going to get to some of that as well, and what's actually happening with some other countries possibly, and why this might not be an extraterrestrial thing at all. It might actually just be low Earth orbit fighting, the space fighting domain, as Donald Trump said when he first sent this through. But okay, all right. So there's a lot here. All right, so let's play some clips. So you get it. Like this is hot today, been reported today, brand spanking new, and it's the 1 year anniversary. The Guardians will now join the U.S. military, soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines as the war fighting domain. All right, so now let's go back just a little ways, and then we'll look at some of those other things, maybe China and Russia and what they're up to. But let's go back just not too far. Let's see, what clips do we have here. Let's go with let's start how about right here. Let's start with this. Now, okay, so let's go back to, I was trying to think in recent memory that we had Obama, who didn't really talk too much president-wise about UFOs or space in particular. He was always trying to slash all the budgets to, do like the social programs and stuff, right? That was kind of his shtick. But or send it to Iran or whatever, right? So that was kind of his shtick. But then I had to take the jab. I had to take the jab. Forgive me. Okay, but then I was like, all right. So before him, we had W, and he was kind of a knucklehead, and he didn't really talk about that at all because he kind of had 9/11 on his hands, right? And then before that, we had the Clinton stuff, and he didn't really talk about it at all. Like, he had made fun of the UFOs a little bit after he got out of office, but as far as I'm aware, he didn't really talk too much about it. So, like, kind of in recent memory, just going back, the George Bush Sr. didn't really say too much about it. But Ronald Reagan, right? Ronald Reagan said a lot about basically space and the war-fighting domain that Trump has been alluding to. He didn't use the same words as in the space traffic management. He didn't say that. But let's hear what he did say. This is Ronald Reagan in 1983 talking about space and how, well, let's just hear what he had to say.
Thank you all very much. Good morning and welcome to the White House. I had to get used to calling this the White House, but I understand it's part of it. I'm delighted to have this chance to speak, even if it's just for a few minutes with you, to talk about the opportunities for us as we develop the frontiers of space. I'm often accused of being an optimist, and I plead guilty. The space age is barely a quarter of a century old, and it's been only 15 years since we witnessed the wonders of the human voice being transmitted from Tranquility Base. But those footprints on the moon showed us that America's future can be determined by our dreams and our visions. And this week's maiden voyage of the Space Shuttle Discovery tells me that our future will be determined by our dreams and our visions. Discovery was a wonderful success, launching 3 communication satellites, as I know you well know, testing an extendable solar power array, producing a pharmaceutical sample in weightlessness, and solid performance from the newest shuttle to join the fleet. And I know that you have seen a film about this, so it would be superfluous for me to go on after what you have seen. Now, there are some, however, who may believe that space is a luxury that we can't afford, that they may work to protect the past, and I believe it's up to us to invent the future. Pushing back the frontiers of space is a critical investment that will lead to better times still to come. We marveled at the earlier Mercury flights and Gemini and Apollo and the shuttle, and yet we've only seen the beginning of this great human adventure.
Okay, right? So to me, it's a fascinating tale to go back in time a little bit and hear what some of the things they're saying today and how they talked about it 30 years ago or 40 years or 50 years ago or more than that. And it's interesting in many ways but it's also not really that different in how they've been talking about it. Listen to Ronald Reagan, straight from the horse's mouth, right? 1983, he's talking about getting into space. It's not a luxury. It's something we can't afford not to do. We have to get up there. It's one of those things, right? And so what is he alluding to, right? Famously, everybody in the UFO community or that's interested in the topic knows about the Reagan quote about aliens. We'll get to that in a second. I've got that as well. We'll play that. But he continues here. So now he said specifically, we have to get up there. All right? There's a lot happening, and we just can't afford not to, was basically his message there. This is part 2 of that same speech. Action.
And you're the people who write about our space program, and you know how we've pushed civilization forward with our advances in science and technology. And as we reach out to new opportunities, I know you understand that your best stories are yet to come. As long as we challenge our imagination and aim high, there's no end to the potential of space and no end to what we can accomplish in space to improve life on Earth. And, of course, that's the whole point of the program in the first place. We're going to keep pushing back the frontier of space and keep opening new doors of discovery, opportunity, and progress. We're going to do it with the shuttle program, and within a decade, we're going to do it with the manned space station. And the benefits our people will receive literally dazzle the imagination. In partnership with business and private enterprise, we can produce rare medicines with the potential of saving thousands of lives and hundreds of millions of dollars. We'll be able to open the door to new opportunities for important breakthroughs in cancer research, in diabetes, and in other diseases. We'll be able to manufacture super chips that improve our competitive position in the world computer market. And we'll be able to develop new metals that are lighter and stronger than any we've ever known. And in partnership with industry and academia, the opportunity to expend basic research will grow and grow, and there will be new discoveries and breakthroughs, new progress. So the promise and the potential are there, and believe me, when you write about it, the stories won't be science fiction. They'll be stories of accomplishment.
Did you hear what he said? Metal alloys lighter and stronger than anything we've ever known. Huh. Isn't that interesting? That's an interesting statement for way back in 1983. That, kind of like that, like they rumored at the Roswell crash, that foil type stuff that you could crumple up and it would just return to its original position, original form. Huh. Again, I was going through this and I just kept going, wow. Like this seems to be, it's amazing how quickly history just forgets. It just kind of forgets, right? And of course, that's due in part very much to the mainstream media and the media in general that just tries to shit on it, and they expect that we don't have a memory past about 30 days or so. Actually, even last week in many cases, they tell us the opposite thing last week and expect us to forget that they told us the opposite thing last week. But yeah, there's I was surprised. I was a young lad in the 80s, and so I didn't hear a lot of this stuff. So going back and actually listening to full speeches has me kind of scratching my head going, huh. This has been a thing for a very long time, hasn't it? Yeah, let's see. I get to the chat. History is very important, says James. I agree 100%. That's why we do this. That's why we do the show, right? You kind of give things a little more full context when you look a little bit further back than last week. Things make a little more sense. Brian says, I will destroy those who attempt to poison or hurt my brothers and sisters. So guess what? When I'm done with you, you will know my name as... I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. Lee says, Reagan saw something on Air Force One, apparently. Thousands of years, says James. Sherry says, each president has been essential to be where we're at the present moment. So you think everything happens for a reason, huh? You one of those? I actually, is some of the synchronicity that I see, I kind of can't argue with you. Well, here you go, Bailey. This is a good one. What if some of the monoliths are made out of weird alloys? Like drop them into the public so that they don't have to come out directly about it, hoping someone finds out. Yeah, maybe. There's a good one. There's a good one. What's up, Alex? Got to call in again and redeem myself. Hey, you are most welcome, my friend, as is everybody else. So we need somebody to break the ice, though, because, if I talk about this, if I talk too much and nobody helps, I can't drink beer. And if I talk and don't drink beer, I get progressively more grumpy, because these are my beer drinking nights. So let's get one of these callers. Thank you. I see the call coming in. Let's do this. And let's talk about this stuff. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is this is Space Force necessary, or is it one more bloated military budget, or something in between? We're going to go to this phone call, and we'll talk about it right now. You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
It's James from Binghamton, New York.
James
digging
from
out
New
of
York.
a blizzard.
Well, right on. Welcome to sunny Las Vegas via phone. How you doing, my man? What's on your mind tonight?
I wish we could get a plane and come see it right now. We got 4 feet.
Oh, no, thank you. Better you than me.
Yeah. But I really think that the things that we've got going on here, they've been going on for years and years, man. When, one of the things that I was thinking about at the beginning of the show is the SR-71 was built in 1944, 1945, somewhere in there. It's at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. You can go there. Anybody can walk right in the museum, and you can walk right up to it and touch it with your hand. But nobody ever knew about it until the mid-'80s, when they made the movie with Clint Eastwood into it, and they started talking about it 50 years later. The Space Force has probably been around since Roswell, probably even before. We know about this stuff. The government isn't going to take their time to go through all this effort and all these committees and everything else like that to waste their time to tell you about something, because people will start to know about it. The old guy that's dying on his deathbed and said, yeah, I remember when I was stationed out in New Mexico when I was a Marine watching the gate, I saw all this crap all the time. We didn't talk about it. You went in, you did your job, you went home. Because if you talked about it, you got fired. It's all the Space Force and all of these things have been going on for probably since the turn of the century. We've known about this. It's probably even farther. The Ancient Aliens show, you watch that. Some of their evidence is irrefutable, I just really don't think these people are coming here.
And to be fair, some of the evidence is a little sketchy as well. So, just throwing that out there.
Well, yeah, it's really, it is a little sketchy. They're grasping at straws. Well, and we are too here.
That's true.
We're reading the news and we're interpreting it because, we got a little bit of tinfoil inside of our baseball cap. But we should be thinking about those things because we know that they don't tell us everything. Or they tell us about stuff that happened 50 years to give us a little crumb to, okay, go away, we're busy here. Yes, you're right. That's true. Yeah, something did happen at Roswell. But no, we're still not telling you about it. We're still not telling you about the dude on the grassy knoll. Sorry. Some of those people are still alive that lied. They're not telling us what they should be telling us. Why we're not adults, we're not grown up enough that, if you want to join the Space Force, you can hop through the Stargate, and it's not going to be good. It's going to be a fight when you get there. You want to do it? Sign right up. We'll pay you, $30,000 a year
to go fight aliens.
Well, yeah. We'll put your wife and your kids in base housing and stuff like that. And if you don't come back, we'll give them a nice, funeral and all that whatnot. Put you up in Arlington.
Right, exactly.
It's just.
I mean, it's not funny. It's not funny. But it's funny.
We ain't going. It's the truth, dude. Vietnam.
Yeah.
South Pacific. China. Start. Philadelphia experiment. Go all the way. Yeah, we're gonna give this a whirl. Anybody want to sign up? We'll give you an extra $1,000.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. What the hell? What is going on here? Well, no, dude, you just got them off the deck, dude. Okay.
While we're outside fighting aliens, don't look out the window. You're going to see some disturbing things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When we say everybody's got to be inside the ship, nobody needs to be on the deck of the ship watching what's going on.
That they say that actually that like so they've actually had people up on the space station. They had an individual go up on the International Space Station. I can't remember his name, but I think Russia took him up there. They used to. We'll get to that in a sec because I have a clips of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, Russia was the taxi cab to the International Space Station for a long time.
Yeah. So, but what they did though to kind of fund those missions is they were offering to send people up. Rich people, right, for several $100,000 or something.
I got $3.5 million, man. Can I get a ride for
exactly. So they did. So they actually took a rich dude up there, and he was actually on the space station as like a civilian, right, just like a tourist that paid his way in, and they wouldn't let him look out windows. like there was a big thing.
How much money did that cost?
I don't remember. This was a long time ago.
How much
like
did
probably.
He pay for that?
Yeah, I don't know. It had to
million?
be. Yeah, it had to be like
3,
$1 million.
5,
yeah,
million?
It had to be something. It was a lot of money. But then he wasn't happy with it because once he got up there, at particular times they told him he couldn't look out windows, and so they'd isolate him and put him in a spot where he couldn't see what was going on outside. And so that spawned some more conspiracy theory as well. For the life of me, I can't remember the guy's name. We did a show.
Sorry, the Black Knight is flying right back now. You got to get in your cabin and watch Netflix.
Right, the aliens are bringing us
2.5 hours until it's out of sight,
dropping off the shipment of manna from heaven. Yeah. So it's a thing.
That's
it is
real?
a thing.
That's
for real. Not the manna from heaven thing, but yeah. So hold on, I'll look it up in a sec, and we'll figure this out. But yeah, so there was actually a guy that paid Russia to go spend some time on the International Space Station, and that happened. And he bitched and moaned about it when he came back because he didn't get to see anything because they wouldn't let him look out windows.
Good for him.
Yeah.
No, really good for him. If you had a chance to be to the International Space Station as a civilian, what are you going to be doing? The same thing you're on when you're on an airplane. Your nose is going to be stuck to the glass of the window.
Hell yeah!
The time you're there.
Hell yeah! What the hell else? Exactly.
Well, I'm not here to see your gadgets and your little scientific experiments that I can read about when I get home.
Find out what it's like to take a crap.
Looking out the damn window.
Yeah, take a crap in space. None of that. No, I want to see what's out the damn window. Exactly. Yeah. So apparently that's a thing. And again, I'll look it up in a minute and we'll find out here. But it's
I believe you. I can look it up tomorrow.
Yeah, it's totally a thing. It's totally a thing. Okay.
Whatever. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But the whole thing is a lot of this is nuts. Everything. All of it.
So what do you think then?
Virus, the elections, the Chinese politics, everything.
Everything,
it's
exactly.
Like, come on, man.
The whole
Are
upside
we really this stupid?
Yeah, we live in the upside down, man. That's what I say almost every day. So let me ask you then while I got you on the phone with me. So what do you think? Did you hear the beginning there what Trump said, space traffic management? What do you think he meant by that?
I do really kind of think where you were going with the satellites falling out of the air. We do have to worry about EMP pulses from the sun because they happen daily. We've been way up north. You see the tree lights up in the sky. Something's going on there. I could see how that could haywire something of, sizable, communication satellite, spy satellite, whatever, weather satellite, and get it a little bit off kilter. And if that came down, Denver or New York City or Las Vegas or something like that, that would be devastating. And as much crap as we've got up there right now, I mean, we've been launching shit up there for what they tell us since the 60s. How long have we really been launching it up there? How much shit did Hitler launch up there? He was big on that. There might be some big shit up there, Volkswagen size or something like that. If it came down, that'd be a bad deal if it hit land. Maybe it's just a bunch of computer attacks and, guys who play video games and want to aim lasers and break shit apart a little bit so it burns up before it hits the ground. Could be, could be simple as that. But I seriously doubt it.
Exactly.
That's my personal opinion.
It's a little weird.
I seriously doubt it.
Yeah, don't you think? Okay,
you read the things about the guy who came back from Mars after 17 years up there. And
Randy Kramer.
And you're like, yeah,
Randy
all right,
Kramer.
man.
Well, he's been widely claimed to be a fraud. Just FYI. But anyway, check this out.
Well, I mean, but it's still the thing is though, is you're running down roads.
Right.
Which road is the right road to run down? I mean, you don't know. I mean, it could be something as simple as that. Look, man, we've polluted our planet. We've polluted our, low Earth orbit and everything else like that. It's time to clean this up, or there might be worldwide problems from it. I really don't think that the way to travel through space is to use Elon Musk's Marvin the Martian's little thing from the Bugs Bunny cartoon to go up there and turn it around as it's coming down and put it on there. You're not going that far. You got to find a way to generate fuel if you want to go really super far. You know what? You're not taking off from the Earth and going really super far with helium or whatever it is you decide you want to use for propulsion. You're going to run out of steam. You're talking about stuff that's light years away, man.
Yeah, that's actually.
You're going to get there a lot faster.
Speaking of propulsion, we got a great comment here. Bailey says that they supposedly have space highways, tunnels that let you transport objects faster than light because they are in a vacuum where the particles are moving faster, called Project DART. DART equals Direct Access Routing Teams. That's new. I hadn't heard of that one, but there you go. And like you said, light years away.
The star alignment that's coming up, the star alignment that's coming up, that might be like a natural bend. If we want to go to the moon, we're not doing it when it's over China. We're not, you know what I'm saying? When you launch the rocket up, you want to make sure that when you launch it up, you're at the closest place that's possible. Maybe some of the reasons why these things happen historically, around when Christ was born, the 15th century and stuff like that, where these massive reports of aliens and things like that, is because that was the shortest distance. In the grand scheme of things, all the galaxies moving around at the same time, but at this one particular point in time, when Jupiter and Saturn line up and make the Christmas star, we are super duper close.
Yeah, they say that's every 800 years.
That is. Wherever that is.
Yeah, right. Yeah, all right. I got you. All right. Okay, so we need to keep on going here. So any final thought while we got you on the phone?
Just, I don't know, keep a positive attitude. We'll be here long after whatever this is done. It's probably not going to take us all out. This has been going on forever. It's biblical. It's Buddha. It's, all these religions, Native American Indians have been talking about this, star people and all that forever. It's probably just some stuff that we aren't privy enough to know the detailed information on what's really going on. Unless you join the Space Force. Click on the link.
Click the link.
Get your $30,000 a year.
Swab the deck, matey. Or sorry, Guardian. You're a Guardian now.
Oh yeah, you're a Guardian. What do you do? I'm a galley cook.
Guardian.
You got to eat.
30 grand a year.
I mean, the guys that are up there.
The benefits are great, though. I tell you what.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. The benefits are great.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they probably are. I come from a military family, and I know they're great.
Exactly.
I know they're great.
Exactly. Well, that's all they got to offer. So
benefits, the health benefits, all of it. It's great. We take pretty decent care of our military.
Exactly.
Better than most.
Well, until they come back broken, and we forget all about it. But I digress. Yeah. I digress. James from New York, I appreciate you calling, my man. Have a fantastic night. Hang in there, and I look forward to hearing from you soon, okay?
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot, man. You too. There you go. Simple as that. If you pick up the phone, you get on here, you talk to me, and I want to hear what you think. Again, we do this live because we include you, right? That's the entire point here. Open source show. And this is our show. This is not my show. 702-957-1037. Thank you for the call, James. That is fantastic. You can also join the show by clicking the Discord link. You can find, if you're not already part of the Discord, you can go to troubledminds.org and click the Discord. It'll be a direct invite, and then just jump in the caller queue there, and we'll put you on the show. Easy as that. But so what do you guys think then? So is this the Space Force business something to do with China or Russia, or is it something to do with the secret Space Force, like Randy Kramer and the Marines on Mars and this type of thing? I find it interesting that the conspiracy theory is secret space program, and we're talking about a Space Force. It's pretty close. If they just call it the space program, they just drop the secret, right? Just Space Force. Space program. I don't know. A little bit weird. Lots of stuff going on. They've got that Christmas star. Whatever's happening with that. Bailey says it's in 3 days, I think. Is you talking about that? There's a lot here. There's a lot. And again, right, there's some bizarre synchronicity with the Galactic Federation, like I said when we started. I don't know. And then you go back and you listen to Ronald Reagan. You hear Donald Trump say some sort of space. What do you say? Space traffic management. Space traffic management. I don't know. You tell me. I got another phone call. Let's take this, and we'll do it. Let's do it. All right. You were on Trouble Minds with Mike. What's your first name, and where are you calling from?
Alex.
Alex.
Yeah, it's you. So I'm calling back in, man. Calling to redeem myself.
All right. Fantastic. Thanks for the call. And you don't have to redeem anything, man. If you listen to this show, you know I put my foot in my mouth like every 5 minutes, so you're totally good. Whatever you did is forgotten and forgiven. You're good to go, man. What's on your mind tonight?
I was 100% smashed. So
that's okay.
I'm pretty sure that I just couldn't put two lines together.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's why I like to have beers when we do this, so I can claim that I didn't remember anything I said.
I'm trying to remember what I said this time.
There you go. So what's on your mind tonight?
Hey, so, going along with like the whole, Mars Defense Force, stuff like that, like you were just talking about, the base that I live by, it's confirmed they've brought down 2 satellites right there, on the base. And I think one was Chinese and one was Russian, or they were both Chinese. And last week I called and, was kind of telling you about, the ship that this guy basically thought he saw, and then he got away from basically base security, and then the professor that I had basically confirmed the whole story with her husband working on the base and him kind of having loose lips. And I don't actually know where I fully got last week when I was telling you about it, but in my mind, it was a pretty convincing story.
Hey, man, the more convincing it is in your mind, it's like a mind over matter, right? You you convince yourself, and then you might convince somebody else as a result, and maybe you convince them all. Who knows? You're fine. You're fine.
Where it was.
You're fine. Just rebrief all of us. Okay, wait. Let me ask you real quick about this. So you're saying that on a base near where you're at, they brought down satellites or something else, like UFOs? What are you talking about here?
No, so they brought down satellites, and they brought down more than one. And I mean, as well as I do, it's almost statistically impossible to bring a satellite down in a spot multiple times, right? So it kind of goes along with the Star Wars that Reagan put up that you were talking about earlier. And then basically the UFO encounter, or maybe not a UFO, maybe it was one of our spaceships that MUFON was talking about, the gentleman that basically got away out near the base after taking pictures of it and sending it to MUFON. And then, later on when I was in college, the professor was talking about what her husband does, saying, he was a biological engineer, and that some VX gas, a vial of VX gas went missing, and there's only 2, engineers on the base at any one time. that can handle the VX gas. Well, she said that he failed 2 lie detector tests, and basically the VX gas was reported lost, so the base went on lockdown for 24 hours. And the dates matched up perfectly with what MUFON was saying of when this guy captured the picture of this football field size, craft landing at the base. And what it kind of amounted to me as was base commander calls and says, hey, you lost this vial of VX gas and the base is on lockdown. I'll call you and tell you when you found it. Because apparently the guy's a total introvert and he failed 2 lie detector tests. I mean, we all know they're not 100% accurate, but
no, that's just
if you're an introvert, you're doomed to fail no matter what.
Yeah. I've got my own story that I won't digress here, but yeah. Lie detectors are a bunch of bullshit.
It all just kind of lined up, and I don't feel like I landed my plane very well last week. And
no.
I wanted to land my plane this week, or spaceship, or whatever the hell,
Hey, dude, as long as you're back to try another landing, you're good to go, man. You survived from last week to this week, so as far as I'm concerned, it's a win. It's a win. No, and I wasn't even under the impression you were smashed last time, so you did really well.
Cheers to alcoholism.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Okay, so then, all right. So, do you think there are UFOs out there? Let me ask you that, and then we'll progress from here.
Honestly, I don't even think it's a UFO. I think it's one of ours. I think it's one of the places that our ships land, because it stretches far and wide into the desert, and I've been hunting out there. Had a buddy trip over a pipe coming up out of the ground, and we went back to look, and it was an air vent coming out of the ground. Travel about, 10 meters further, and there's a brand new air vent popping out of the ground that's, above the ground surface, maybe, 8 inches. And he's actually delivered furniture out to the base by chance, and he said he got in an elevator, and the elevator went down. He said the elevator went down about 4 floors. So, just as far as like dumps and things like that, this whole thing is connected.
Yeah, is that
it's connected
anywhere
through most of the state?
Yeah, definitely. I've heard that they have one of the theories about Skinwalker Ranch is that they have underground bases there, and there's a military base where they're doing weapons testing and stealth technology, like the Predator type stealth, where you can make people invisible, and they're up there screwing with people. Was that anywhere near Skinwalker?
No. So the Skinwalker Ranch is up in the high Uintas, or the Uinta Basin, and this is out towards the West Desert, towards Nevada.
Okay. Towards my neck of the woods. Yeah, and from here to there is a whole lot of like military desert, pretty much. It's like Area 51.
It's pretty much base from northern Utah. The airspace goes from northern Utah all the way down to St. George, Utah, and it extends into space. So the space ceiling actually is into outer space. So nothing can fly over it without any kind of clearance.
Yeah, I definitely believe that. Okay, so you think what we're seeing they're going to be ours. So do you believe then that we've reverse engineered UFOs, or just our technology is so far ahead in advance that we're kind of seeing some weird shit that just doesn't make sense to us yet?
No, I think it's a mix. I think it's reverse engineering. I think it's things that we've found and we've been given, because like the Eisenhower, the agreements that have been signed and everything like that people talk about. I think a whole lot of it has to do with that. And I sent some FOIA requests last week, and I'm real big on finding the actual actual documentation. And Utah was in the 60s. They did a whole study, and Utah was Salt Lake City specifically was deemed one of the most one of the places that trusted the government the most. So this base specifically was put here. It's been operating since like 48, I think. And they kind of ramped things up in the 50s and 60s because of that study. And it's all in a FOIA request and, the federal documents. And it's, they picked Utah. They picked Salt Lake in particular because it's outside of there. And people, for the most part, trust their government. I don't know if that's true anymore, but it was then.
Things are changing quickly. If they don't, they're about to give us another $600 in the States, right? So that would be over the course of almost an entire calendar year. That would be $1,200 once plus $6. That's $1,800, and they expect us to even eat on that. Fuck off, government.
Yeah.
There's a reason why people don't trust the government. Yeah.
It's not even a whiskey budget.
No, exactly. Seriously, I definitely drink more in beer than that a year. I mean, crying out loud. Yeah, nuts. Okay.
I drank that the last time I called in.
Yeah. There you go. and I'm telling you, it didn't show whatsoever. So you're doing okay. All right. So then, so I did put up an article here that you were kind of saying that shooting down satellites. This was just reported a couple days ago. This was literally 2 days ago that Space.com reported Russia has launched an anti-satellite missile test. U.S. Space Command says. And so Russia has made space a war-fighting domain, according to Space Command. So I linked it in the chat. I'll link it when you get off the phone as well so you can check it out. But I wonder, right? Like you said, they're bringing down satellites over there in your neck of the woods. I wonder if this is some sort of thing that's maybe related, and who knows, right? Who knows? Maybe the pieces fit together.
I read that article, and that's more like of a contact-based way to bring something down. And this seems like something entirely different because it was satellites that had a decaying orbit, and they just brought them down where they wanted to.
Okay, like maybe some sort of EMP or some sort of gravity tractor beam or something. Who knows?
Yeah, then I think it's some kind of gravity thing because from where I live, I mean, I can look west and I can see weird shit in the sky. And it's happened more than once, and it's just kind of a thing. It's like you go out on the deck to smoke a cigar, and you're going to see some weird shit. About 50% of the time.
Yeah, we definitely live in the part of the country out here in Vegas too. You see some weird stuff. If you're out there looking for it, you can see it. It's not hard to find. Yeah, crazy. Okay, so sorry. Go ahead.
I've seen weather. I think that they can do something with the weather, and I might sound like a psycho, but I've literally seen multiple occasions where clouds will literally form out of a funnel shape coming in our direction as to like mask something. And that's the thing. One of the reasons why I believe that MUFON story, and then kind of put the things together that professor was saying, because I've seen clouds and rainstorms and snowstorms just come out of nowhere on a bright sunny day that only hits the county and the valley and adjacent valleys that we live in. Just appear in 30, 45 minutes. And then, you drive 30 miles up the road and it's sunny and bright. And it dissipates just as fast as it comes. So I think there's some elaborate stuff going on out there.
Yeah, I think so too. There's
a whole lot more than we can even, understand, I think.
Yeah. So DARPA is actually estimated to be 30 to 50 years ahead of us technology-wise, ahead of like the private sector normal type stuff. So, I mean, just think about, let's assume that's correct. In 50 years from now, let's go with the top end of that. There's going to be some amazing shit. So if we're already doing that type of stuff, kind of in a military capacity, yeah, like it doesn't surprise me. Weather manipulation and the rest of this, yeah. You don't sound like a psycho, man. You're in the right place.
No, well, if you believe the Ben Rich quote, the Ben Rich, deathbed quote, then, he basically said that, Star Trek is basically behind where we're actually at. And I would account that to be a very smart individual, if you know who Ben Rich is.
I'm actually not familiar with that. Who's that guy?
You guys were just talking about Skunk Works and the SR-71.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. My bad.
So Ben Rich, he's on record as quoting, saying that we're already among the, I'm paraphrasing, but that we're already among the stars. And basically, that we're already living in those Star Trek days, but that technology isn't being released to anybody.
Of course. That would change the world for the better, wouldn't it? I don't know. Okay, so you definitely think it's us. Do you think there's aliens out there, or do you think that's just a pipe dream at this point?
Oh no, 100%. They're out there.
They're out there.
I think our what do they call us? The Guardians now, Space Force.
The Guardians, yeah.
I think it was just the Space Force before the Space Force, man. We're really the Guardians of the Galaxy.
How bizarre is that, right? Okay, so before I let you go, one final question: do you live anywhere near in Utah where that first monolith popped up?
No.
Okay. So you didn't get a chance to go out and take a look at it, I suppose. I was going to ask if you went out there.
No, but there's a whole lot of people that did, and one of the funny things about that monolith is, and I don't know if you follow, the Diesel Power Gear guys, or Diesel Dave, or anything like that, but Sparks went out there, he took his video cameras, landed his helo right next to it, went up there, and he said, well, it was a pretty good rivet job, but nobody welded anything, and you can see where they overcut with the circular saw.
I did see that, yeah.
So, yeah. So that kind of made me laugh. I was like, okay, it was for effect.
Yeah, that's where I shut it down to. I was like, all right, well, unless aliens are really, really sloppy with their metamaterials, then nope, this is not a thing.
They need a better diamond saw.
Exactly. Bust out the lasers, boys. Come on, what's going on here? Very sloppy work. You're fired. You're fired. Back to Venus with you. Yeah. Okay. So any final thought? And we'll keep on moving here. Get somebody else to get on behind you.
No, man. Just hopefully I redeemed myself.
No,
I was thinking about it all week, and I was kind of pissed off at myself because I didn't know if I could string it all together.
You're fine, bro. You're completely fine. Nobody here noticed, I promise, because half of us are half in the bag as well. So you're good to go. You're good to go. I appreciate the call. Alex from Utah, you're welcome anytime. Please call back soon, okay?
All right, thanks, man.
Thanks a lot. Have a great night. There you go. Simple as that. Good stuff. You can give us a call. You get on the show. A couple of great calls tonight. 702-957-1037. We're talking about Space Force. We're talking about how this weekend, actually, 2 days from now, I believe, is the 1-year anniversary of when they actually put Space Force together. So, is there some synchronicity with the Christmas star thing that's going on with the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter? Is there something going on with the Galactic Federation? Some synchronicity there, or is this all just a random spurged out BS of a psychotic media, or somewhere in between? We're talking about it because there's a lot here to talk about, and I want to know what you have to say, and everybody else does as well. So please call 702-957-1037. We're about halfway through, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and continue with some of these Reagan clips. So I've got clips we can play, but it's more important to me to hear what you guys have to say, because this is how we get together and talk about all this. So please do. I'm going to leave the phone number up if you guys want to queue up and get in the caller. We got plenty of lines if you guys want to hop on. And so far, so good. I appreciate the calls, but we got room for more. So 702-957-1037, troubleminds.org. Click the Discord link. We're taking a 2-minute break, and we're going to come back and continue talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, Space Force. All right. How's it go?
Ancient astronaut theorists say yes.
Yes. Be right back. 2-minute break. Go grab a drink. refresh or top off your whatever's going on over there, whatever you're sipping on. Hit the restroom. Meet you back in 2 minutes. We're going to keep talking about Space Force and the Guardians of the Galaxy. Be right back. Hey, Generation X, 80s, baby. 80s vibe for sure. How do you like the 80s tunes? I think that's good stuff. Got some new music to play for the breaks and everywhere else, so we're doing some good stuff here. Let's read some chat. Let's get on some chat. If you're just joining us tonight, we're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, or actually the Space Force, which has just had its 1-year anniversary, and they named the soldiers or the cadets or the recruits or whatever they were before. They are now called Guardians, the Space Force Guardians. So, and they're still hiring. They're looking for another 4,000 people or so in the next year, in the next calendar year. So, if you want to join the Space Force, I'll put the link up again in a little bit. And yeah, good stuff here. Let's see. Tons and tons of good chat. You guys are amazing. Larry says TIE fighters, X-Wing fighters, DEWs, which are direct energy weapons platforms. Reagan was all gung-ho on that shit. And he was talking about some stuff that we haven't even touched yet, right? Or did we? And it just kind of got to, it happened and we didn't actually really acknowledge that it happened. Who knows? That secret space program stuff, right? Crazy. Brian says CERN. Science CERN. Yes, definitely. Who knows? Derek says HARP controls the weather. Yep. Kelly, what's up? Thanks for showing up. Says, if you can't take it anymore, then give. This is Buddha quote. Good evening, peeps. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Joan says, I would never leave the holodeck if it was a Star Trek society. Amen to that. Warp speed, Scotty. Yeah, how dare I take a break? Hey, if I didn't take that break, you wouldn't hear that sweet 80s music. Come on. That's pretty good stuff there. GameBed02 says, if we reversed engineered spacecraft, would they fly it above a residential area and make it disappear with the flick of a switch? I think they might, to be perfectly honest. I think they would do it just to, it's part of that gain of function exercise stuff, right? So if you do it and you see how, let's say local jurisdictions report how many people see it, how much people are paying attention, what kind of videos get put up on the internet. If you're doing these types of things, I think for sure, right? You have to test it over populated areas to know what. So let's say you send it to China, right? Let's say it's a military thing and you're sending it to China. I think you'd have to test it here before you send it there, right? To kind of see how people will react to it. Do people believe what they saw? Do they doubt themselves? Do they freak out? And who knows? I think those are the types of things you would do from a military perspective for sure. So yeah, I don't find it terribly hard to believe that they would be doing that. Think about it this way: like if it's actually an alien ship, and there's aliens inside of it, they could probably just do whatever they're doing without being seen, right? I think so. I think they could probably just get away with never showing themselves to us, right? You would think their technology is so far advanced. What's up, Kelly says 80s music sounds more like some 70s action TV show. I thought it was badass. Let's see. John says, can we talk about how hot Gina Carano is? Sure. Sure. I'm not going to tell you what I say every time I see her because it's not rude, but some people would consider it that. So I'm not going to say it, but I say it in a nice way. I agree with you. Okay, so all right, let's go. Let's keep on moving here. Let's play. So this is Ronald Reagan in that same speech. Let's hear him finish up. Now he was talking about this is in 1983, and he's talking about going to space. All right, and that this is something that we can't afford to miss, and we have to do. We have to invest in this. It's the future. So here we go. Part 3. Ronald Reagan. Action.
By accepting the challenge of space, we're carrying forward the same courage and indomitable spirit that made us a great nation. And with people like Elizabeth Dole and Jim Beggs and Tony Callio and Bud Evans to lead the effort, there's no doubt that America's space program will lead to a better America and a better life for all your people and all our people. I just had recently a visit to Goddard Space Center, and there I saw already some of the things that I've been talking about here in general. I saw specific examples that we'll soon be seeing, both in the field of great improvements in health science, but the improvements in fabrics and materials developed in outer space that are going to mean great savings of time and money to some of our productive industries and increase their production at the same time that they do all those things. It was really a brief trip through Wonderland. So that's the answer to those who in the very beginning fought so hard against the continuation of some of these space programs on the basis that they thought they were just kind of experiments in intellectual curiosity. Well, they're not. They're real and they're practical. So I've used up more than my time, so I've been told I have to get out of here. So it may surprise you. You thought that probably I gave the orders, no? No. But thank you all very much. God bless you all.
Okay, he said there, notice, he said that these things are not just some form of intellectual curiosity. These things are very real. You see that? Like just like those couple sentences is like smack yourself in the head. Holy shit, what's really going on here? Right? And he said lots of things. Like he's on record saying a ton of things that kind of make you go, wait, what? So let's take that and say that DARPA really is 30 to 50 years ahead. So if the things you expect we're doing now, they were doing then, yeah. I mean, was he briefed in about UFOs? Did we reverse engineer them? We've been zipping around doing our thing. Who knows? Who knows? Why we do to include you, because I want to hear what you have to say. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link and let us know what you think. Do you think that the Space Force thing is a bunch of hogwash, just another military boondoggle for some money? Do you think that it's like Donald Trump said in the beginning there in the clip? Is it the space traffic management system, whatever the hell that is? And what does that mean? Does that have something to do with satellites and asteroids, or is it aliens and extra dimensionals? Right? Who the hell knows? Like, there's a lot here. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to think about, as always, and this is why we do it. And yeah, all right. So then, one of the things also that Reagan got a lot of shit for was his. It was called a Strategic Defense Initiative, okay? And so the press mocked him. Things haven't really changed too much except for, the Orange Man Superbad. But the press was definitely very militant against right-leaning presidents then as well. And so the press came hard after Reagan in the 80s, but it's nothing like what they did the last 4 years to Mr. Trump. So, like I said, it's irrelevant what you think about either of those guys. It's just a fact of the way the media operates. But here's the crazy thing. So he had this Strategic Defense Initiative, it was called. But the reason I bring up the press and this bit was because they mocked that and didn't call it SDI, Strategic Defense Initiative. They called it Star Wars, right, to kind of mock Reagan and his plans. All right, so let's hear Reagan talking about this actual Strategic Defense Initiative and what it means. This is him announcing and kind of talking about some specifics. And so this was about putting like a defense network of satellites in space. Do you guys remember this? I'm sure many of you remember this when he was talking about this. This is a long time ago. Us 80s kids, we know what's going on here because this was a thing, right? Star Wars was going to be a thing, but we didn't realize the press was making fun of him. It's actually called the Strategic Defense Initiative. Here's Reagan talking about it in action.
What if free people could live secure in the knowledge that their security did not rest upon the threat of instant U.S. retaliation to deter a Soviet attack, that we could intercept and destroy strategic ballistic missiles before they reached our own soil or that of our allies? I know this is a formidable technical task, one that may not be accomplished before the end of this century. I call upon the scientific community in our country, those who gave us nuclear weapons, to turn their great talents now to the cause of mankind and world peace, to give us the means of rendering these nuclear weapons impotent and obsolete.
Okay, so what he's talking about there is basically these killer satellites that are able to detect intercontinental ballistic missiles in flight and shoot them down before, let's say Russia shoots them over here or whatever. They're able to shoot them down from space. So we're talking like, kind of like a Patriot missile system, but in space, right? And so it's kind of unclear what technology is going to shoot these down. Is it other missiles? Is it laser weapons? Is it plasma weapons? Is it rail guns? You know what I mean? Like, what's really going on here? And again, it's like everything that's kind of defense oriented, you don't really ever know. You don't really know exactly what they're talking about. You kind of know in vagaries in some instances. But that's the Strategic Defense Initiative. And he was talking about this in 1983. 1983. That's a long-ass time ago. And now we're talking about China and Russia and probably us, of course, have killer satellites, right? So space is being weaponized. That is for sure, right? Because imagine if you took out, like, just say you could instantly vaporize, like, a couple of GPS satellites, right? Imagine how everything would just go haywire down here. Everything is so tied into these satellites and the satellite systems that if you could take out a couple just before you were about to do something really nefarious, that would be a gigantic strategic advantage. So, of course, right? So now not only do you have killer satellites that are looking to take down other satellites, then you've got defensive satellites that are looking to defend against killer satellites that are trying to take down your other satellites. And yeah, you see. Then we get a huge mess in orbit and a bunch of garbage floating around. And yeah, is that what Trump meant when he said space traffic management? All the garbage we're putting in space. Yeah, who knows? Let's see. What else? Yeah. Lisa, didn't he say after watching Close Encounters, this is already happening? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Robert says, we've had weapons in space. If you think we haven't, that's too bad. Yeah, exactly. Again, they were talking about this in 1983. 1983 of all places, right? Or of all times. Times. Jeez. All right, so, okay, that's Ronald Reagan, okay? Now, with Ronald Reagan, we're going to get to some other presidents too. Now, it's interesting because, like I said, the further you go back and you're kind of like keeping a time frame in your mind of what kind of technology was happening and when, right? Kind of based on some statements that particular presidents made or people that are way high up in the military. We're going to focus on presidents tonight because it's probably a little bit more linear to make the case here. Let's assume that presidents are actually read into these programs, and if there were aliens and we made contact, the presidents would know, even though it doesn't seem that is the case because, like we said in the past, presidents are more like temporary employees and they know they'll be gone in either 4 or 8 years, and that's it. So, like, who really runs this joint, right? It's you can't really say it too loud. So let me just look over my shoulders and make sure that I don't say it too loud because somebody might come say, hey, you can't say that. But yeah, the deep state, that's who runs this shit. The deep state. Presidents are temporary employees, and that's that. It's a 4-year, it's an 8-year thing. So yeah, if every 4 years you're telling a new president about the aliens, yeah, I really don't think that's the case. I think it's likely they're not read into these programs, if these programs exist, just FYI. What's up, Axel? Thanks for showing up tonight. It says, Axel says, satellites are very vulnerable because most of them broadcast and so can't hide. But that's the thing, right? So that's what we know about, but how about ones that don't do that? Like, don't you think that if they can make, like, stealth this or stealth that? I don't know. I think maybe that's the game now. That's like the new satellite meta, right? It's like, well, if you can't see it, you can't shoot it. And if you can't shoot it, then it's an advantage. Who knows, right? Like, who knows what's really going on there? That's a fantastic statement, but I'm just saying I don't know what I don't know. So you got to assume they know that too, and there's programs being made to kind of counter and handle those things. So anyway, we're talking about, again, Space Force. We're talking about it's a 1-year anniversary here. They've named the Space Force cadets or soldiers Guardians now. They're called Guardians, Guardians of the Galaxy, as it were. I mean, that's not really the full term, but, it's hard to not think Guardians of the Galaxy. And then on top of that, with all this Galactic Federation talk the last couple weeks, and then this conjunction with Saturn and Jupiter, and this again, like some bizarre synchronicity here. Like, what's really happening? Is this just a product of a paranoid mind, or is this something else? Like I said, do we live in the Matrix? So the Guardian leaked the story, right? About, never mind. I already said that. Just saying. And then we have the Guardians, and then never mind. Anyway, all right. Anyway, let's go. Larry says, is the Death Star just completed yet, or is China just dusting off the old one? That's a good question. Which Death Star? If you guys watch The Mandalorian, you know the joke. Anybody watch The Mandalorian? Holy shit! The last episode of season 2 was today, and oh shit! If you haven't watched The Mandalorian and you're a Star Wars fan, do it right away. Right away. Finally, Star Wars has some redemption in the last 20 years. Like they've really struggled to make some really good stuff. And in the last probably 3 weeks or 4 weeks, The Mandalorian has got really good. It's on Disney Plus. If you don't have it, I think it's like $6 a month. But spend the $6, binge the shit out of it. It's totally worth it. Holy crap. Today was the finale, and I had to watch it. I usually watch it tonight after I do the show, but social media was throwing spoilers out like crazy. I was like, shit. They're gonna spoil it, these assholes. Anyway, check it out. Good stuff. All right. Now, with that said, all right. So that's Reagan, right? Now, okay. We're not done with Reagan yet. So we're going to go back to some other presidents and some of these other things, but we're not done with Reagan. Now, everybody knows about the alien quote with Reagan, right? When he said, if we had, anyway, I've got it. I'm going to play it. But everybody that's into ufology knows about the Reagan and alien quote. All right. But did you know he didn't just say it once? He used this analogy several times. Hold on. We got a few. Let's play some of these. Listen to what Ronald Reagan said in the 80s, obviously talking about the Cold War and how stockpiling nuclear weapons against each other was not the way to go. Now listen to this. There's a couple things Reagan said that are very, very similar. And you've probably heard one of these, but not all of these. So here we go. Reagan on aliens. Action.
I couldn't help at one point in my discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us we can bring about that realization.
Okay, so there's one, right? And that may not be the one you've heard because that's not the most famous one, but he did make that analogy, Not once, not twice, but 3 times that I could find. And so if he said it 3 different times, he probably said it 5 different times or 10 different times. Who knows, right? Like, this is the type of stuff that you don't get every day. You go digging on the internet and you can't really find this stuff because many of these things are just buried in like a 45-minute YouTube video or like a 3-hour live stream like this, right? It's kind of difficult to track some of these sound clips down from freaking 30 years ago. But we did it. We're here. We're talking about this stuff. And Bailey says, interesting thing to hear from a reptilian. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Let's see. Got some other good comments to read there in chat. So we're going to read that. But here we go. More Ronald Reagan on aliens. That was one. Here's another. Action.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
Okay, there's the one you've probably heard. I think that's the most famous one. Now, that's twice we've got him saying it, right? Here's a third time. Him saying the exact same thing. Listen to this.
I think maybe I'd answer it this way. I keep, in my frustration sometimes, actually, if you count some of the things going on in smaller countries and all, there have been about 114 wars since World War II. But I've often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by a power from outer space, from another planet? Wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have any differences between us at all? We were all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular threat?
Yeah, right? He says it again and again and again. Is that a hint? Or is that just New Age philosophy? Trying to bring about peace through New Age philosophy by relating to people with aliens. What I do know, the answer to that question I don't know. But what I do know is hearing that second clip, it does remind me very much of this, and I think we have to play it because it makes me laugh. So let's play this, and you'll know exactly what I mean. Here we go.
Major. Marlin, sir. Good morning. Good morning. In less than an hour, aircraft from here will join others from around the world. And you will be launching the largest aerial battle in the history of mankind. Mankind, that word should have new meaning for all of us today. We can't be consumed by our petty differences anymore. We will be united in our common interest. Perhaps it's fate that today is the 4th of July, and you will once again be fighting for our freedom. Not from tyranny, oppression, or persecution, but from annihilation. We're fighting for our right to live, to exist. And should we win the day, the 4th of July will no longer be known as an American holiday, but as the day when the world declared in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. We're going to live on. We're going to survive. Today, we celebrate our Independence Day.
Okay. Some similarities there, actually. It almost feels like they ripped off Reagan's speech and put it in the movie. There's definitely some... Okay, now that you know the context, I'm going to play the one that makes the most sense. Now listen to what the dramatized version there is. Now listen to what Reagan said in this one, the most famous one. It's only 40 seconds. Now listen closely.
In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war?
Yeah. I couldn't help it. I had, like, when I heard it and when I was doing these clips, I was like, hot damn, that sounds just like the Independence Day thing. And sure enough, right? Some good comments here. Again, we're live, guys, if you want to be part of the show. 702-957-1037. That's your Las Vegas area code. If you don't like the long distance, join the Discord. It's free if you have an internet connection. Troubledminds.org is the official website. You can find the phone number and the Discord link there. And let's read some chat. Let's see. Bailey says, I guess they only broadcast when asked to, but I wonder if there are also proxy satellites which exist just to communicate for external satellites that never or rarely broadcast to them. I think that's a valid. All this is valid. All these thoughts are good, right? Because we don't know, right? Like, clearly they have redundancies and they've thought of these things and they've had interferences and other problems. So who knows? Who really knows? Bailey continues, I bet stealthy broadcasts are very small packets and directional beams, so they aren't broadcasting in all directions, but instead a very thin cone instead. Not only that, what about quantum entanglement and spooky action at a distance? What if they've already actually mastered that somehow, and that unhackable internet, as they're calling it, the quantum internet, is actually a thing already, and they're maybe using that, and it's so maybe not even transmitting directly, it's a quantum entanglement. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, crazy, right? Bailey says he must be a guardian, the Ronald Reagan there. Yeah, so anyway, I don't know, pretty crazy, right? Pretty crazy, the parallels on what, I'm pretty sure they ripped off part of that speech, right? They both said, vanished, will not vanish without a fight, right? We're going to live on. That's so good. It's so good. All right, so anyway, let's see. Ronald says, does anyone think that maybe the powers that be are causing division in order to announce the existence of extraterrestrial life? So hopefully people will come together as one. You're talking about Project Bluebeam, my man. Except, it's not to bring us together. It's to usher in martial law. But yeah, I mean, the potatoes. Okay. Sorry, not Reagan. Bill Pullman. Okay, got it. Okay. All right, so we're going to keep on moving here, but we're talking about Space Force. It's the 1-year anniversary of Space Force being enacted and being a thing now, and they've called the cadets or the recruits. They now have a name. They're called Guardians, and that was named after. We have an actual reference here, so it wasn't actually Guardians of the Galaxy. It was from. Let's see, we got this. Where's the reference? It's from the command, the original command motto of the Air Force Space Command in 1983 was Guardians of the High Frontier. So they just dropped the High Frontier, and the Space Force individuals are now called Guardians, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're talking about. All right, so let's see. So what else do we got? So that was a bunch of good Reagan stuff, and I think just maybe the media operates is with sound bites and whatnot. I think Reagan was probably the best to get some pretty good stuff here. I couldn't find a lot of stuff on earlier presidents, but there's a lot of written information. So let's look at some of that. And again, phone number's up. I want to hear from you. What do you guys think? This whole Space Force bit, again, a military boondoggle? Do you think it's something to combat China and Russia? Do you think it's something Randy Kramer, Marines on Mars? Like, what's really going on here? Is it the secret Space Force that's been around? I mean, we all know, like anybody with half a brain realizes, NASA is basically a Space Force, right? It's like the forward PR, front-facing space program of the secret Space Force. I mean, that's what it is, right? It's just what it is. Like, there's a ton of shit going on in space that they're not telling us because they can't, because it's national security and all this shit. 1947 National Security Act, right? All this. But that's what NASA really is. It's just a PR front for the Secret Space Force. So, how long, or the Secret Space, is it Space Force? No, Secret Space Program. So, how long has there been a Secret Space Program, and how far ahead are they regarding technology? That's the question. Do you believe in the Bob Lazar thing? Do you believe we've reverse engineered UFOs? Do you believe that maybe with that quantum entanglement stuff I was just saying? Like, who knows, really? Like, who knows what's going on? I think that's really the point. That's really the point to talk about. And I don't know. I really don't know. Sherry What's Up says, big solar flare just happened. Can you feel it? Did you see it? What happened? I know the sun's freaking out recently, something like that. But hopefully it doesn't hit us directly. That would suck. Okay, so let's see. So let's keep on moving here. So we've got, so there's all the Reagan stuff. Now, I was looking at some of these presidents, right, and seeing what, kind of disclosure-wise and alien-wise and the rest of this, what a lot of them had to say. And there's some fantastic resources here. Specifically, let me show you this. This is a website called, let me see. It's called presidentialufo.com. So if you guys haven't seen this, this is, let me link it. Hold on. And then we'll get to some of the stuff here. But there's a lot of UFO information on some presidents here. So this is one of those sweet old websites, you know, back before they had HTML5 and like PHP and before they actually had, oh shit. That's hilarious. Okay, so I posted it to, it went to Okay, I'll explain why I'm laughing. It went to what you call it, to it didn't go to Facebook. This link went to the Restream chat. So if you're on YouTube and the rest of this, you saw it, but it didn't actually go to it didn't go to hold on, let's see, what am I doing here? Trying to get everything back up in the proper order. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah. So it didn't go to Facebook. Facebook smacked it down and said this website is not allowed. Okay. Well, well then, let's do this instead. Let's put it on the screen and then they can't really censor the link. But this is the website. So if you guys want to find your favorite search engine and smash in that top title there, why don't you go ahead and do that? And then all right, so then there's some good stuff here. So I was going back, we got President Harry Truman, 33rd president, right? 1945 to 1953, and right after World War II. And I'm gonna link this and you guys can check it out. And yeah, what's going on here? So let's see. I had this picked out earlier. Where is it? Okay, so here we go. There is little, right here from the website, there's little doubt that in these early years, Truman was very aware and in total control of the UFO situation. There has always been a controversy as to what President Truman's views were on, quote, flying saucers, as they were called during the tenure of his administration. Truman was not an elected president, taking over May 2nd, 1945. That's when Roosevelt died, of course. Some UFO researchers who were around at the time felt that President Truman had very negative opinions about flying saucers. One of these is James W. Mosley, who published a magazine in the 1950s called Saucer News. Quote, in our 2 meetings with Truman, said Mosley, he definitely expressed negative opinions about flying saucers. He continues, we had a brief private meeting with Truman in 1954, continued Mosley, after he was out of office, and the quote he gave us regarding flying saucers was simply, I've never seen a purple cow. I hope never to see one. He refused to add to that statement. Several years later, we attended a Truman press conference, not at the White House, and received a similar negative response from the ex-president in answer to our UFO-related questions. So this is the guy that, so Roswell was 1947, okay, and in July, I believe, and in September, just a couple months later, this is when they enacted the National Security Act. All right, so this is a Truman thing. This is a 33rd president. And so this is how suddenly all of these flying saucers and everything else, right? That's what they were called back then. We call them, they were then called UFOs by Project Blue Book and J. Allen Hynek, and now they're called UAPs, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. They changed the names, of course. Well, why? For a couple reasons, right? But anyway, we've talked about that in the past. Some more good comments here. Keep the comments coming, guys. If you want to be part of the show, let me know what you think. We're talking about Space Force tonight, Guardians of the Galaxy, or Guardians of the High. Hold on, let me get this right. Guardians of the, what is this? Guardians of the High Frontier, that they've now changed to just the Guardians themselves. But I want to hear from you. What do you think about the Space Force thing? Do you think what are they doing with space traffic management, like Trump said there, those his actual words? Or do you think this is, again, satellites or asteroids or meteors or comets or aliens? You tell me. I want to know what you think. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. TroubledMinds.org is the official website. You can find the phone number and the Discord there. All right. Back to Harry Truman. 1947, the National Security Act, right? So, you could argue that Truman himself was the one whose legacy still carries on today regarding UFOs and the government covering them up. All right? That National Security Act. Actually, I didn't pull that up, but let's look at that just real fast, because I think it's important in context here that we see what this is. Hold on. One moment, please. Okay, here we go. All right, this is what we're talking about right here. We're going to go with just the top version, which is, of course, Wikipedia, the Ministry of Truth. And here we go. The National Security Act of 1947 was a law enacting major restructuring of the United States government's military and intelligence agencies following World War II. The majority of the provisions of the Act took effect on September 18th, 1947, the day after the Senate confirmed James Forrestal, that name, James Forrestal, as the first Secretary of Defense. The Act merged the Department of War, renamed as the Department of the Army, and the Department of the Navy into the National Military Establishment, the NME, headed by the Secretary of Defense. It also created the Department of the Air Force and the United States Air Force, which separated the Army Air Forces into its own service. It also protected the Marine Corps as an independent service and under the Department of the Navy. Aside from the military reorganization, the Act established the National Security Council and the CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, the U.S.'s first peacetime non-military intelligence agency. All right. Yeah, right? There you go. There's Truman. So Truman had a very heavy hand in our non-transparency of UFOs since Roswell in 1947 to now. Crazy stuff. Let's see. Some good comments here. Bailey says, if you ask me, the problem is that they need to deprecate NASA because of their Nazi paperclip history so that they can disclose aliens without throwing a current U.S. federal organization under the bus. That's why they're defunding NASA while building a space force. Doesn't make sense without the caveat that they're moving from one to another. Axel says, my understanding is that most spy satellites are regular communication satellites that also have cameras. I think, I think all of that is definitely relevant regarding satellites, but I think there's a bunch of stuff that we also don't know. Okay, so anyway, let's keep on moving here. Again, if you guys, I'm looking for your comments. I'm looking for you guys to call. I'm looking for. I want to know what you think. You guys know what I think. I ramble on about this shit all the time, so it's no secret. I'm undecided on many things because we don't have all the information, and that's really that. As the information comes, I'll solidify my opinion one way or the other. But that's kind of how we roll. This is a we can't always be wrong and we can't always be right type of situation. So. Yeah, that's how we go. That's how we do it. So one more time, 702-957-1037, TroubledMinds.org. Click the Discord link and get on the show. All right, let's keep going. All right, so we have President Eisenhower from this. This is the old site. I can't link this to Facebook because it's a bogus site according to them, and it's going to get us taken down off the internet. But all right, so here we go. So there's the rumor that President Eisenhower met aliens. Remember this? The Smoke Tree Ranch where President Eisenhower spent his February 1954 California vacation. The home was owned by Eisenhower business friend Paul Helms. The ranch was chosen because it offered enough room for the presidential party as well as some Secret Service officers. It also offered a better security than the other options, all right? Early Sunday morning, February 21st, 1954, Eisenhower appears at a church service at the community church in Palm Springs. He is seen here shaking hands with the pastor, Reverend James H. Blackstone, Jr. Even though he is seen smiling, Eisenhower, according to his secretary, Ann Whitman, hated church. Quote, I don't know how he ever put up with Billy Graham, she said. That's funny. Hours after Ike's church appearance, he was reported missing from the Smoke Tree Ranch. Countless stories have circulated that Ike made a quick trip to nearby Edwards Air Force Base, where he met with landed aliens. Aliens. Them aliens. Where's Ash when you need him? Them aliens, yeah. So, right. So we go back and you see some of these things, and you wonder, like, what's really going on here? Is this a bunch of BS, or what's really happening? I think that's really the theme of this show. Is this a bunch of BS? Let's see. David says we need to welcome the aliens. Ronald says y'all William Shatner fans can do what you want, but I'm not bumping uglies with a green alien lady. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I don't know. They those the ones that they painted up in the William Shatner episodes, they look pretty good to me. Just put a little. They're green. They got antennas, but they look pretty good otherwise. Let's see. What else do we got? Eisenhower agreed that I talked about. Yep. Exactly, Alex. Exactly when you called. Thank you for the call again. Let's see. Keegan, what's up? What are we talking about? Hey, we're talking about Space Force. Thanks for showing up, guys. We're talking about Space Force, and they named their cadets Guardians today. And not only that, it's the 1-year anniversary. And what do we need a Space Force anyway? Space Force for anyway. See what I did there? What do we need a Space Force for anyway? There you go. Spit it out. I said it right. That's what we're talking about. All right. So with all of that said, where are we at with this? Is there basically nothing, or is there something here? Is this, again, like a military boondoggle, just a way to spend some more money and, transfer wealth from the poor to the rich and, spend with Northrop Grumman and Raytheon and these guys? Or is there something else happening here? Is there actually aliens out there? Yeah. No. Well, see, now you're not lost. Look at that. All you got to do is ask, and we'll sum you up. We'll catch you up. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about, and we're live, by the way. So if you're just showing up, you can call in and give us your take on this. 702-957-1037. Troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. There you go. You can find the phone number on troubledminds.org. Okay, so now let's continue. Let's continue moving here. So that's Eisenhower meets with the aliens, right? They say that President Harry Truman was the president during Roswell, and then shortly after Roswell happened in July, in September, he enacted the National Security Act, which basically brought the CIA in, and they started obfuscating everything, all the information that came through in a non-wartime capacity. So there's a lot here, right? Here's another one. So there's actually 2 accounts of President Eisenhower meeting with extraterrestrials, supposedly. So here's another one. This is from the UFOcrashbook.com, and this is regarding Eisenhower. And thanks, Sherry. Have a great night. Thanks for being here. Alan says, LMAO. What's up, buddy? Let's see. Okay. All right, there we go. So it actually went through. All right, let's look at this. President Eisenhower at Holloman Air Force Base on February 9th, 1955. All right, so the other case here was, what was that? 1954, right? Smoke Tree Ranch. This one is, again, in 1955. Eisenhower announced to the press he was going to Georgia for a few days. He left on February 10th at 1 p.m. from Andrews Air Force Base with a party of 6. A chartered plane load of journalists from all major networks accompanied him. The plane load of press was with Ike because of international tensions. The Russians were having a major leadership upheaval, and the Red Chinese were making moves towards Formosa. Ike and party arrived at his destination, Thomasville, Georgia, about 4:30 p.m. on February 10th. Hunted quail for an hour and retired to his guest cottage. Less than 24 hours later, President Eisenhower showed up at Holloman Air Force Base. Ike was out of the press view for some 36 hours. James Haggerty, his press secretary, told the press that that Ike and his valet were treating a case of the sniffles. So the source of Ike's visit to Holloman comes from an ex-airman stationed at the base hospital. The airman wrote a 7-page letter to UFO investigator speaker Art Campbell, delineating the details of Ike's visit and some of the activities while there. The Columbine, Illinois, Ike's Air Force One at the time, landed at Holloman around 9 a.m. on February 11th. By previous arrangement, the plane taxied and parked on an active runway. A short time later, a UFO was seen to land in front of Air Force One. A man presumed to be Ike left the parked plane and walked to the UFO. A meeting of some 45 minutes took place, and then he returned to the plane. Another UFO was seen hovering or over the flight line while the meeting was going on. All right, and if you watch Ancient Aliens, you've seen this. This is one that gets brought up a lot, right? The mythology of this whole business of the treaty with the extraterrestrials, which of course would be the Galactic Federation, right? The Council of 5 or 9 or 11 or whatever they're going to pack the court with. However many it ends up being, maybe the Council of 88 by the time it's done. But who knows, right? I guess given all of that maybe like Sherry said, maybe they do need permission from the Council to actually get into space. Williams says, I think they are slowly trying to desensitize the people. It all started with the Navy Tic Tac UFO, then the imminent disclosure of the Galactic Force, now the President and Vice President talking about Space Force. What's next? We're going to get invaded? Yeah, right? Yeah. Alan says, do any government officials ever try to shut you down? Nah. They think we're quacks, man. It's cool. It's cool. And have you ever seen anything in the sky you can't explain? Definitely. I live in Vegas, and there's some weird shit in the sky out here, so it is a thing. What's up, Benjamin? How you doing, my man? How about the alien entities inside our own government? That's a good question. Yeah. I think that's worth talking about. So if you want to talk about it, you know what to do. Give us a call, man. Put up the phone number right there. All right, so let's see. What else do we got? All right, we're good. Okay, so let's continue. So we're talking about Space Force. We're talking about the Galactic Federation, and now Eisenhower and his supposed meeting with aliens. We started with Reagan. We went back to Truman. We got Eisenhower. And what else do we got? There's another one. Who else do we got? Oh, there's the Strategic Defense Initiative. We got that. The National Security Act. What are we missing? There's other stuff here. All right. So, here we go. Okay. So Eisenhower. Here's the old site. I'm going to link this again. We're going to take a look at this and read some of this. All right. So here we go. All right, so according, again, this is presidentialufo.com, and, again, take the source for what it is. If you think this is a bunch of hogwash, fine. If you don't, fine. If you think it's somewhere in between, fine. Again, I don't care. This is not one of those to convince you of something. This is, look at this yourself, think about it yourself, and make up your mind yourself, I'm just kind of going through it and kind of putting things that fit together, and there's some news today, so regarding Space Force and the rest of this, so kind of looking back to maybe what the presidents leaked or what they supposedly leaked. And anyway, here we go. So we have President Dwight D. Eisenhower, UFO articles related to his White House administration. So they said in March 1960, the Martian moon Phobos, generally accepted as a celestial body, actually may be an artificial satellite launched long ago by an advanced Martian race, according to Dr. S. Fred Singer, Special Advisor to President Eisenhower on space developments. No mention was made of the other Mars moon, Deimos. In his published opinion, Dr. Singer backed a claim first made by the Soviet astrophysicist Shklovsky. See how I did that? My Russian is superb. The Russian scientist's announcement that Phobos was a hollow, artificial satellite providing the existence of a Martian civilization set off heated arguments among astronomers. Shklovsky based his decision on a long study of Phobos' peculiar orbit, which other astronomers have noted. The Russian claim has calculations, and those of earlier astronomers prove Phobos cannot possibly be an ordinary moon. All right, so we've heard that about our moon, right? That it's some sort of space station, or it's tidally locked, and so it's like a satellite kind of staring down at us, and maybe the aliens or the bases are on the backside of the moon intentionally so that we can't find them easily without, becoming interstellar ourselves, or at least able to travel, off the Earth. Yeah, so right, we've heard this stuff before, but now this is actually going back to 1960. A scientist linked to Dwight D. Eisenhower, the president then, was talking about Phobos, the moon of Mars, being some sort of similar, right? And so this isn't new, is it? Is these things new, or we're talking about 1960, and that's not new at all. But here we go. So though Dr. Singer said the figures still had to be proved, his Phobos statement in the February Astronautics rejected other astronomers' objections. Quote, I would be very disappointed if it turns out to be solid, said the White House advisor. If the figures were correct, he stated, then Phobos undoubtedly is a hollow, artificial satellite. If it is, he said, its purpose would probably be to sweep up radiation in the Mars atmosphere so that Martians could safely operate around their planet. Dr. Singer also pointed out that Phobos would make an ideal space base, both for Martians and Earthlings. In light of this article, there was an interesting assessment of Mars given during a space briefing presented during an Eisenhower cabinet meeting. The briefing by Eisenhower science advisor Dr. James Killian was given March 14, 1958. Mars, much more exciting. Conditions more similar to Earth. Undoubtedly some form of life, although probably not ones which we would recognize. Right? Hot, right? Hot? Is that the, so, okay, scientists speculating based on the data they have that the moon Phobos, which actually has that, remember the monolith? It actually has a monolith on Phobos. Yeah. So I don't know. So we have this weird circular synchronicity going on here, and we're gonna wrap it up too with some other bizarre synchronicity regarding scientists talking about alien satellites. Yeah. All right. We're gonna get there in just a sec, and wrap it all back around to Space Force when we finish this up. But before we do that, we're gonna take a quick detour, and we're gonna hear from our good buddy. Well, he doesn't know who the hell I am, or you are probably, unless you're holding out on me. But Neil deGrasse Tyson chimed in on some of this. So we'll hear some quotes from him. I got some audio we'll play for that. But again, this show's live. It's Friday night. If you want to chime in, give me your opinion on Space Force. You think there's actual aliens out there? Or you think this is just a satellite like patty cake game that we're playing with Russia and China, or is it something again like a military boondoggle to burgle the tax dollars and make them disappear in a black budget? I don't know. You tell me. I'm open to all those things because shit, who knows? Who really knows? And let's see. Carlos, what's up? Thanks for showing up. Says Buzz Aldrin made a statement about a monolith on Phobos, and there is a monolith on Phobos, by the way. And Carlos also says Japan has a mission to land an unmanned rover on Phobos in 2024, and that would be sweet. And hopefully we get the actual data from there, and we see what if there's like that same monolith that was in Utah. What if there's the same damn one, but it's up there? That'd be hilarious. It's got rivets and saw marks in the yeah, you get it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. William says some scientists also argue that our moon is hollow and artificial. Yep, exactly. Or the when the satellite bounced off of it in the was it the 60s, I believe, 70s, that they said that it rang, the moon rang like a bell. I've heard that before. Yeah, Alex says a toad there. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, Bailey. Neil DeShill Tyson. So let's go to Neil DeShill Tyson and hear what he had to say regarding all of these things, all right? So, again, we're talking about Space Force and their one-year anniversary. They named their cadets or recruits Guardians now. Guardians of the Galaxy, as it were. Not really, but yeah, kind of. But here we go. Let's hear what Neil deGrasse had to say about all of this stuff. And not just like I said earlier when we talked about when James called, we were talking about the rich guy that went to space, right? So Neil's actually going to talk about this a little bit in this clip, in these series of clips. So here we go. Neil deGrasse talking about all the stuff we're talking about tonight. Here we go. Part one, action.
We've talked a lot about investing in space, whether it's buying the stock of Lockheed Martin or talking about the ambitions of a Jeff Bezos or Richard Branson or Elon Musk. And I'm just wondering how big you think this is going to be in terms of the next frontier for investment.
When you say this, you mean a Space Force or just space in general?
Space in general.
Well, space in general, well, space is kind of unlimited. I've said before that the first, just kind of unlimited. I've said before that the first trillionaire will be the person who exploits the natural resources of space itself, the energy available 24/7 from the sun, the mineral resources that exist doing nothing other than orbiting the sun, located in asteroids and comets, the sources of fresh water in comets and some other asteroids. So access to space in the future may be the deciding factor of whether we can not only accommodate the growth of our population, but also do it in a way that can produce and generate wealth.
Well, Neil, at current pace, Jeff Bezos might get to that target even just with Amazon. But let's talk about his space exploits and those of Elon Musk and Richard Branson. Do you think when it comes to commercial space travel, only one of those three will be successful? I ask that by saying whoever gets there first, will they then just get huge investment behind them such that in years to come, one of them will be successful, the other two won't. And who do you think might win that race?
Okay, I'm not a betting man in that regard, but I can tell you that at the beginning of all industries, somebody gets there first, and often the person that gets there first doesn't have the most inventive version of it, and other people come in behind them. They get to start where the first winners began and then take it to other new levels. So there's more than one computer company, there's more than one television manufacturer, there's more than one brand of car. So I'm not thinking that there's going to be one person that takes the money and runs. Space is a huge place. And if someone exploits this asteroid, then I'm going to exploit that asteroid if your prices are too high.
There you go. Space Economics, brought to you by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Now, why is this important? Because they asked him first about Space Force, right? And so it turns into a little bit of a larger conversation. And so, like he said, now we're talking about maybe space, like luxury travel, right? Like maybe pay some rich people to see the moon and this type of stuff, or like who gets out there and starts mining asteroids first. And, there's a lot actually to really talk about here. And, like actually good things for humans. It's just, like literally once you start mining the asteroid belt and stuff, then we're talking about as like it should be a post-scarcity society, right? Well, or is that allowed? I don't know if that's allowed. But, okay, so he continues with this. And there's more, and this will come into the space tourism thing, which we talked about a little bit earlier. So here we go. Part 2, Neil deGrasse Tyson. If you're just joining us, we're talking about Space Force tonight, and it's a 1-year anniversary. And is there some sort of synchronicity with the Federation of the whatever the hell that was, the aliens and the Council of Nine and all this? Who the hell knows? Here's what Neil deGrasse has to say about moving into space and all the guys who were trying to do it. Part 2, action.
I think the space has a built-in price-checking mechanism on who might try to run away with a monopoly.
An unlimited market with no monopoly. Neil, so now I'll ask about the Space Force. President Trump created it. It was mocked. You've defended it and said it's important. How much do you think that will be a driver to speed up investment and research and development into space?
Well, it's not so much that I said it was important. I just said it was not a crazy idea. Okay. Not being a crazy idea means it's a great idea. Okay, but I just wanted to note that we already have active presence in space by the U.S. military, and it's under the Air Force, and it's called the U.S. Space Command, and they've been doing this. The Air Force has had space presence ever since the beginning, back in the 1960s. So it's sort of an accounting shift of all the space activities from the Air Force to a new thing that might be called, that if it goes through, would be called a Space Force. And for me, I'd like to throw some extra things in the portfolio, like how about defending us against asteroids that have our name written on it? That'd be a good way to use defense money, I would think. Also, space is becoming quite the trash heap. Space debris actually can badly interfere with space commerce, because if you have a satellite minding its own business, sending transmissions, be it a weather satellite, a communication satellite, and an 18,000 mile an hour stray bolt comes through, that's the end of your satellite. So clearing the space regime for commerce, it should be a fundamental part of what the military does in protecting our assets.
Okay, see, so he's got a more level-headed approach here to regular getting into space and what the Space Force may be, and like he said, maybe protect us from some satellite or from some trash out there, or some meteors or asteroids or whatever. I find it hard to believe that we're enacting a Space Force though to go clean the litter out of low Earth orbit, but whatever. But again, Neil deGrasse, he is what he is. He's like the marketer. He's probably more a marketer now than he is an actual scientist. But whatever, you get what you can get. You get in where you fit in. So it's all good. So let's play the rest of this. So if you're just joining us, or you want to give us your take on this, I don't have much more after this. So if you want to, now's the time. If you want to be part of the show, I want to hear what you think about all this. What do you think Space Force is for? Is there some kind of alien menace, right, with the Galactic Federation, like we were talking about? That's the words I couldn't come up with. The Galactic Federation. Or do you think that this is just basically like Neil deGrasse is saying? It's like cleaning up some garbage from orbit and watching the asteroids and making sure that we don't get hit. who knows, right? Like all of this kind of fits, and then we'll wrap this all the way back around to how this started, when the Space Force began, and we'll wrap it up. All right, here we go. 702-957-1037. We are live Friday night. Join the Discord, troubleminds.org. Here we go. Neil deGrasse on Space Force action.
So, Neil, we're talking here a lot about whether it's military incentives for exploiting space or putting money into space, and also private sector efforts, some of them directed at moving people to other planets and things like that. Is that, in your mind, a sufficient set of reasons to actually spend money on space? Or is there not a pure science exploration type reason anymore that we should have more government-sponsored efforts in that direction?
Depending on the wealth of a country, there's a spending level below which it has the complete accommodation and tolerance for pure space research. But beyond that, the reason to do it has to be, history has shown, it has to be linked either to economic drivers or to geopolitical forces. Often that's code for military or defense. And so if we're going to go into space in a big way, it's not obvious to me that the urge to explore is sufficient. And the economic drivers have always worked, and like I said, so too does your need for security. By the way, security in this case is not just protecting the value of the satellite that is in orbit. It's protecting the value of the commerce that satellite enables. Consider the GPS system, which was launched by the Air Force and then co-opted by our business community. There are entire business models that only exist because of GPS, such as Uber, such as Tinder. You want to find out who you're going to mate within a square mile, it is getting coordinates via GPS. And so there's the valuation of those satellites goes beyond just their hardware. It's what they enable on Earth. So if you're going to have a military presence, you'd want the military protecting our assets in space, as well as whatever else it's doing here on the ground. Now, what's going to open that? I think space tourism is a huge driver.
Space tourism, there's it. And don't lie, who swiped right on Neil deGrasse on Tinder? Come on, be honest. All right. Anyway, so you hear what he's saying, right? So not just the space junk, the asteroids that might be a threat. You have the satellites moving around like maybe weaponized or like I said, in a military capacity. And then the space tourism thing, like we talked about earlier when James called. So let's finish this up, Neil deGrasse, and then we'll wrap this all the way back around from Eisenhower back to the current day, and maybe what built Space Force and what prompted Trump to actually enact this thing. So here we go. Bailey says he's an assaulter. That's so goes the rumor. I don't know. There we go. Part 4, Neil deGrasse action.
Yeah, right now you can go to the Russians used to take tourists for $20 million. And I don't know that there was a waiting list for that, but a few people did it. Now, that seems to be a highly sort of elastic demand curve there, because if you make it 10 million, there'll be more people who can afford to do it. 5 million, 1 million, 500,000, 100,000, each drop down. You're going to grow that interest and grow that community. And at the bottom, you can make it a lottery. And everyone puts in $10 to get a trip into space. And so the first person who does that will make great strides, be it Bezos or Virgin Galactic, or Elon Musk. I just know for myself, I'm not going to be the first on any of those voyages until like Elon Musk sends his mother. And then if she comes back alive, then I might buy a ticket.
Well, we will wait to see that. Very quickly, Neil, what do you make of Elon Musk's recent sort of quirky behavior?
Can you smoke pot in space?
Well, you need oxygen that you might prefer to breathe rather than using it to combust the marijuana. Just a trade-off, I'm thinking, But with his quirky behavior, I went to college. I went to a really selective college where people were really smart and really weird. And the weirdness became an element of their behavior that I just came to expect with people who had sort of singular abilities to think or to innovate or to project what a future might be. So I think we're giving him yes, he needs to comply with the SEC. He's got a publicly traded company. He's got to obey. Otherwise, there's consequences. Beyond that, let the man be an individual.
See that? Even Elon Musk must obey. California smacking him down. Obey. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So there you go. There's the take from Neil deGrasse, Neil DeShill, whatever he's called. Whatever you guys want to. Yeah. There he is. All right. So there's the most basic take, right? The guy that's like the astrophysicist that doesn't believe in aliens, basically, but he kind of does, right? But he just, like it's like watching the mainstream media, right? And they're trying to tell you one thing, but what they're trying to tell you is exactly the opposite of what they believe. Yeah, that's kind of like Neil deGrasse. Like he's kind of like, oh yeah, aliens, the universe is so big that that has to be. But he's really just shitting on it, saying, nope, we ain't seen them in telescopes, so they don't exist. Anyway, so there we go. There's Neil deGrasse. I don't need to tell you guys; you already know. All right, but so let's wrap this all the way back around. So let's go to where we just were. Dwight D. Eisenhower. All right, so he had a scientist that was with him, this Dr. Singer fellow. All right, that said that Phobos was a hollow artificial satellite, proving the existence of a Martian civilization. All right, so right there in black and white. If you think the source is bunk, fine, but that's right there in black and white. So it's not the first time a notable scientist even, has come out and said something like this. This is a long time ago, but we were actually doing this show when we actually had third phase of Moon. If anybody remembers that, I think Grant was the guy's name. He called in during this particular show where we were talking about the possibility of why Donald Trump brought about Space Force. Because there was something happening in the cosmos, in our solar system, at that particular time. Stephen Hawking had just passed away, and there was the very first actual interstellar object that came into our solar system. Anybody remember what that was? Anybody remember? It's okay. You don't have to, because I'm going to tell you. All right. There was this thing called Oumuamua. Anybody remember this? Now, this thing came and went. It was pretty fast. Before Stephen Hawking passed away, he actually said that this is going to be one of the most exciting things we've ever seen, humanity's ever seen, because Oumuamua is, let me just read some of this. This is from SputnikNews.com, and it's fantastic. Hold on, let's see. Is there another one? Let's see. Should we start it? Yeah. All right, so let's start here. So this is this here is so remember, making the loop back from that scientist in 1960 that said the moon Phobos is hollow and probably a satellite, like an artificial satellite, an alien satellite. All right? And now back to present day. This was 1 year ago or so, year and a half, something like that. Here we go. Let's read some of this. Despite backlash from colleagues in the scientific community, Avi Loeb of Harvard University continues to advocate his theory that the interstellar object called Oumuamua passing through our solar system is part of an alien spaceship. He argues that other astronomers have lost their childhood curiosity and are too afraid to be wrong. And it continues. In an interview with Chicago Tribune, Avi Loeb, head of Harvard University's astronomy department, shared that he has been working on an equation that will prove that the strange interstellar object called Oumuamua and currently passing the orbit of Jupiter is part of an alien spaceship. The astronomer thinks that Oumuamua is not a comet or an asteroid, as his colleagues suggest, but a light sail that was once the driving force of advanced technological equipment. Loeb points out that the interstellar object is moving too fast for an inert piece of rock, as if it's being pushed from behind. He also doesn't think it's a comet, as observations of the object haven't revealed anything resembling a comet's tail. Loeb believes that the mainstream image of Oumuamua is a piece of potato-shaped rock is actually wrong. Scroll up to the top. That's kind of what they, right there, that was the illustrations of what this thing actually looked like. It was like a kind of like a cigar-shaped, long, oblong, potato-size-ish thing, right? All right. So, the hold on, let's see. Potato shape. According to the astronomer, it's a kilometer long and 1 millimeter thick oblong light sail, which is so light and thin that it's capable of catching the sun's rays and using them as a wind propelling it further into space, like a light sail would be. So far, scientists have been unable to determine the exact shape of the object due to its complex rotation, but they suggest it is a cigar-shaped rock. The renowned astronomer has faced criticism from colleagues over his views on the essence of Oumuamua. Many of them have accused Loeb of publishing theories that he doesn't believe himself and of engaging in sensationalist, ill-motivated science. Doesn't that sound like scientists that like to bicker amongst themselves? However, Harvard's top astronomer remains adamant in his views and is demanding that his critics provide convincing arguments disproving his theory. Now, he did do these equations he was talking about. We covered this ad nauseum, so much that OG Todd, I don't know if OG Todd is here in the chat, but like we did this when Frank was here, when this was actually happening, Oumuamua was flying through. We covered the shit out of this because there was like an unbelievable amount of weird stuff with this. Okay, so this thing was not only its mass was bizarre because it was long and thin, but it was also rotating on like 3 axes. All right, this thing was like literally just kind of flipping around like you wouldn't expect it to be moving, which is why they had a hard time measuring the mass of this object in very specifics. Okay, then the other weird part is it dipped down in an elliptical orbit, and I know all this because we covered the shit out of this a year and a half ago when this was happening. It dipped. Okay, so imagine the solar system, of course, in a 3D environment. The solar system is sort of in a flat plane. All right, the sun in the middle, and there's like a flat plane, and the planets orbit around the sun in a flat plane because the nature of gravity kind of coalesces all the planets to be in that flatness. It's like it becomes a thing after so much time. All right, but this particular thing, this Oumuamua thing, actually dipped down into our solar system from an elliptical orbit above that flat plane of our gravity signature in the solar system. It came down, it passed Earth, it passed Venus, it looped around by the sun, and then it went back out towards the rest of the solar system, all right? And when it was passing in the Jupiter S quadrant, the Jovian system, as it's called, it started accelerating. All right, so the thing actually looked like it was maybe controlled by something. All right, now this is widely covered. Avi Loeb is one of the guys, Harvard guy. He stood up and said, "Yep, nope, this could be a light sail. This could be an alien thing. This could be a lot of things, right? These possibilities. All right, so now this is Oumuamua, right? Then that's the bizarre part. It was spinning on the 3 axes thing. They couldn't really pin down exactly the mass based on the mathematical calculations. And then even more bizarre, it wasn't a comet because it didn't have sublimation when it got close to the sun. But then oddly enough, once it got out near Jupiter-ish on its way back out, it started accelerating, right? So you add all that shit up and you're like, WTF is all of this? That's the question, right? So that's what's going on with this particular thing. So I'm saying that back in 1960, this scientist with Eisenhower was saying, hey, look, the moon Phobos might actually be some sort of artificial satellite. All right? So I'm saying that this stuff is not new. Like, we've had scientists speculating about this stuff for a very long time. And it's bizarre to me that if this has been kind of in science and they've been talking about these things for as long as they have, that we're shocked when this happens again. All right. So now here's the best part. Now, let's wrap this all the way back around. Let's bring this all the way back around to where we started. Donald Trump. All right. Now, you never thought I'd say that, did you? Let's start it right back at Donald Trump. Now, when he said this, let's play this again. Let's bring this back around to this spot. They did this. All right. Exactly right when Oumuamua was flying through our solar system. All right? Check this out.
When it comes to space, too often, for too many years, our dreams of exploration and discovery were really squandered by politics and bureaucracy, and we knocked that out. So important for our psyche, what you're doing. It's going to be important monetarily and militarily, but so important for right up here, the psyche. We don't want China and Russia and other countries leading us. We've always led. We've gone way far afield for decades now, having to do with our subject today. We're going to be the leader by far. We're behind you 1,000%. When it comes to defending America, it is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space. So important. Very importantly, I'm hereby directing the Department of Defense and Pentagon to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a Space Force as the 6th branch of the armed forces. That's a big statement. I am instructing my administration to embrace the budding commercial space industry. We are modernizing out-of-date space regulations. They're way out of date. They haven't been changed in many, many years. And today we're taking one more step to unleash the power of American ingenuity. In a few moments, I will sign a new directive to federal departments and agencies. They will work together with American industry to implement a state-of-the-art framework for space traffic management.
A state-of-the-art, what did he say? I'm going to go back to this. I did this twice already. Listen. All right. We got a Muamua, right? So this is coming in. Stephen Hawking pointed out just before he passed away that, holy shit, he didn't say this. I'm paraphrasing badly, by the way. But he did say, this is a golden opportunity for humankind. We have this thing coming from outside of our solar system. We have no idea what it could be. And we need to jump all over this to learn everything we can about it as fast as possible. We need to mobilize now. Okay? Unfortunately, shortly thereafter, Stephen Hawking passed away. He didn't even get to see the data as this thing flew through the solar system. They spotted it as it was coming through. So one more time. Let me just play the end of this. Now, this is the most important part. Implement a state-of-the-art, here we go.
State-of-the-art framework for space traffic management.
State-of-the-art framework for space traffic management, all right? As Oumuamua's, I don't know, driving through the solar system. I don't know. All right. I'll bring it all the way back around. Is this why Space Force was enacted? Is this why, I don't know about the Galactic Federation. We talked about that the last couple shows. But is this why Space Force is a thing? Because there is space traffic out there. Avi Loeb has claimed this was a light sail from an alien civilization, and that was his hypothesis. All right? This thing accelerated as it left the Jovian system near Jupiter on its way out as it came from somewhere outside of our solar system. It appeared to be some sort of scout ship, some sort of probe, didn't it? Almost like you would expect from, we talked about the movie Independence Day tonight and played the Bill Pullman clip. But imagine, just before that fleet of aliens showed up in the movie to take over planet Earth, do you suspect maybe they sent some sort of similar probe like a Oumuamua? And if so, hold on, and if so, I got this. And if so,
ancient astronaut theorists say yes.
Yes, maybe yes. And if that's the case, do you think it prompted Donald Trump and his team to enact a Space Force? You got me. There's a lot here. There's a lot of crazy stuff. Let's read some chat. Let's finish this up. All right. So if you want to be part of the show, now is the time, because we're running out of time. It's about time for me to go smash some beers and play some Call of Duty. But right this minute, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. You can find both the phone number and the Discord at troubledminds.org. That's the official website, troubledminds.org. If you like this conversation, We split off the news. We're doing conspiracy news 5 freaking days a week. Yeah. Follow us on Twitch 5 days a week. If not, it'll get posted to the YouTube channel, and you can find it all there too. So no sweat, no worries. Conspiracy all day, all the time. But okay, back to the matter at hand. What's really going on here? Is this about aliens or is this about space trash? You see like the weird juxtaposition of the two things? They're not remotely related and they're very, very, very different threats. But threats nonetheless. Assuming both are real. You see what I'm getting at? Yeah, I don't know. So, okay, Avi Loeb. Let me pull up one more real quick while we have this. And we're finishing this up. Avi Loeb. Where is it? Come on, Avi Loeb. Where are you at, buddy? I got a lot of links up here. All right, there we go. All right, so here we go. Here's one more. This is reported by The Atlantic. All right, and this is here we go. Dropping the links in, and then going to finish this up. I'm smashed. Am I smashed? Bro, I've had 3 beers. if you can get smashed on 3 beers, I'm impressed, because it takes way more than that for me. I'm just it's weird. So okay, so here's the thing with me. Like if I don't have coffee in the morning, I'm a wreck. I can't even read sentences from an article like this. But if it gets to the like early evening, if I don't have a beer, I can't do this. Like it's like the coffee for the nighttime. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I drink beer every night. I'm saying show nights, I have to have a couple beers. It opens up my brain. I just can't do it. I can't do it. All right. Anyway, here we go. Now this is another one. So this is reported by theatlantic.com. When a Harvard professor talks about aliens, news about extraterrestrial life sounds better coming from an expert at a high prestige institution. And again, it's the same thing talking about Avi Loeb, talking about Oumuamua, saying that he actually, do you believe that extraterrestrial intelligence exists? You know, and his light sail theory and Oumuamua and all the rest of this stuff. So, like I said, right, 1960, this presidential scientist that's advising Eisenhower at the time says, hey, the moon Phobos could be an actual like extraterrestrial satellite. It's not new. I mean, that's new. According to Avi Loeb, him and Oumuamua is not new. It's old. This is old school stuff. Read some good comments here, and then we'll finish this up. Just pointing out the facts here. Just pointing out the facts, guys. So trying to make a connection. I think there might be some connections here. And it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Bailey says, I saw that in a weird flashback thing or something. It is a flat metal structure on top, a spaceship like an aircraft carrier ship. The bottom and sides are just manufactured to look like an asteroid. GameVet02 says there's a NASA photo floating around of one of these sitting on the moon's surface. You mean the monolith, right? It has lines and circles on the top. It's crazy. I'm not sure what you mean. Bailey says, are we a leader or are we behind you? I don't even know what that means. But I believe you. I'm with you. How about I'm with you? I'm with you. GameVet02. That is the moon craft like Oumuamua. Yep, that's it. That's it. That's what you said. That's what he said. That's what he said. All right, let's see. What else do we got? Some other good chat here. Again, we're about out of time, guys. If you want to be, I have time for you if you want to call in and tell me your take. This show is live. We do it live to include you. That's literally the only reason we do it this way. All my slurps and my burps and my popping beers during the thing and my ums and my ahs and my not perfect narratives, we do it that way because we want to include you. We've always done it like that. We'll always do it like that. So if you can see how yeah, it's just part of being me. It's part of being human, right? Like if I did this in a vacuum and edited out every and all, you guys would think I'm a genius. Well, maybe. Well, probably not. but anyway, you get the point. You think I'm way smarter than I am. But the point is, I don't care about that. I care about including you. That's the most important part. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Troubledminds.org is the official website. Get on the show. Tell me what you think. What is this Space Force thing? Do you think this is just again, military boondoggle? Space garbage. Chinese and Russian satellites. Or aliens. What's the real threat? What are our Space Force guardians protecting us against? That's the question. That's really the question. So we're about to finish up. We got a phone call coming in. But you see, it comes all the way back around, doesn't it? It's weird. It's weird how it comes all the way back around. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Space Force. What can you do? You can think about it. You can talk about it until you join Space Force and start swabbing the decks, matey. You can't really do much else. So let us know. If anybody out there gets a job at Space Force, I expect you to call in and give us, I don't know. Don't give us classified information because you'll end up in jail. Actually, unless it's politically motivated, then you might not. So you might be cool. Make sure you clear it with Chuck Schumer or Mitch McConnell, and you're good. But if you don't, you got a big problem, all right? Make sure we can politicize it and they can talk about it on CNN or Fox News, all right? Anyway, all right, let's go to this phone call and let's finish this up. What's up? You're on Trouble Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
What's up? This is Beechwood.
Beechwood, what's up, my man? How are you? Good evening.
What's going on? I'm calling from out in Massachusetts.
Nice. East Coaster. You don't sound like you're from the East Coast. Are you fibbing to me?
Yeah, no, I am born and raised.
Hey, do me a favor. This is the test. Can you say quarterback? Say quarterback for me.
A quarterback.
Oh, see, he did it. All right, fine. You win. From Boston. All right. Or Massachusetts or wherever you're from. I don't know. It's all of Massachusetts is Boston in my mind. So, anyway.
Yeah, basically, that's what you tell people when you go other places. You just say from Boston.
Okay. Perfect. Then we're on the same page. All right. So what's on your mind tonight? What do you think about all this alien stuff and Space Force and all the rest?
Well, the Space Force, I can't tell you too much about. I honestly think that might be a distraction, but definitely idea they want to put in people's head. I'm almost positive. See, I don't think humans are from Earth. I don't think, and I know they say when a lot of people think that we reverse engineer technology, like alien technology, I think it's all pre-programmed in us and it's just coming out in time progressively. Because like when I look at animals, like what their natural instinct is, they have like no desire to leave the planet. They basically just eat, they reproduce, they get shelter, they survive, but they don't complicate their lives like humans do.
Okay, I'm with you.
So basically, I mean, it's just, I looked it up. There's allegedly like 8.7 million different species on the planet. We seem to be the only ones that question our own existence. We question our origins. We question where we go when life ceases. We build things. We're the only creatures on this planet that, I mean, other animals they build nests, they build dens, but we build complex things that only a small percentage of our society actually understands, like how to build and how it works. The most of us are just the working class.
Knuckleheads.
Not knuckleheads, but we just serve a basic purpose.
I was speaking,
and we don't really know why.
I usually speak about myself in the plural, but okay. I am all of the knuckleheads. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. No, okay. So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. So then, given all that, is it? How does that relate? How does it relate to the Space Force and the Oumuamua and all the stuff we're talking about here?
Well, I think all that stuff exists, but I think there's just a lot more going on. And I think it's been going on for a long time. But, that's just in the mainstream. Not that it doesn't exist, but it's, I don't know about the space. That's still kind of new to me. But, I had sent you a message on the last show, about how I had an experience a few years ago.
Yeah, West Virginia.
And I don't think we have enough time to do it tonight, but maybe on another show I'd love to talk about that.
Didn't you say West Virginia, right? Or no?
Who, me?
Yeah, you? I'm getting you confused with somebody else. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll get into it another time. I get people confused in my brain, don't I? See, I can't even. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go right ahead. I thought I had you. That you told me it was somebody else that called earlier tonight. So my bad. See what I mean?
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah. You get me on my fourth beer. It gets around midnight. This is what happens to me. I'm a mess. But anyway, sorry about that. Go right ahead.
It happens to the best of us.
Amen, brother. But yeah, go right ahead. So let's wrap this up. What do you think about? I'm not trying to run you off the phone. I'm just saying let's turn this back around to the aliens and Space Force and the rest of this. If you don't know that, well, that's fine. But what do you think, though? Do you think it is something nefarious here with China and Russia and the satellites? Do you think it's something as innocuous as space garbage and meteorites, or do you think there's freaking aliens we're trying to protect ourselves against with the Space Force thing?
I think both. I think protection. I think ultimately the human race needs to get off of the planet eventually. Maybe not within our lifetimes, but it's inevitable. I mean, nothing lasts forever. So it just makes me wonder when I look at like the human race, like we have an obsession with astrology. Ancient cultures have an obsession with astrology, and we have like this drive to explore space more than our own planet. So it's almost makes me think like we have a homing mechanism, like we're trying to go maybe where we came from.
Yeah.
Like that's where I think maybe the intuition to explore all this is. I don't know. Maybe the Space Force could add a part of that. Maybe it's part of disclosure. I don't think most people can handle it, to be honest with you. But
do you think that if the government came out tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and said, "Hey, aliens are here. This shit is real. Here's what they are. Here's our dossier, or 88-page thing. Or here's the brief," you think people start jumping out of windows and shit? You think that's real?
If that happened, I don't think humanity could, in general, could hear it. I think they would panic. Human beings have this natural thing. Like even the thing with the space, like look at human nature. So we're either building weapons to protect ourselves or we're building weapons to go and kill things. But if we have this instinct to build weapons and this like fear that something's going to attack us, it makes me think we're not the top of the food chain. Because like when I look at like just the other animal world, like the top dog, not afraid of anything. He just walks around, like the animals that are at the top of the food chain with no real natural predators like saltwater crocodiles or great white sharks. They kind of just do what they want. Humans are the only, thing that bothers them.
Or Bigfoots or Gilgameshes. They just do what they want.
Bigfoots. I haven't seen Bigfoot in years.
I had to shoehorn that in there. I'm sorry, but okay, go ahead.
But no, basically that's all I can give you on that. I'm probably going to go ahead and let you go. But I know I started listening to the show. I like it. I wanted to call to let you know I want to maybe in the future call in and give you some input. And if I could, I'd like to tell my story, but it takes a little bit of time.
Dude.
Definitely makes me come off as a complete lunatic. But,
dude.
I'm actually a fairly normal person.
Dude, you have a story that makes you come off as a lunatic. It's going to take a little bit of time. You're in the right damn place, my friend. Check this out. This is the best part.
I figured I'd let you know,
Yeah, hell yeah. No, look. This is the thing. I'm officially inviting you. And Bailey, by the way. Damn it, Bailey. We need to get you on the show, please. Bailey's also has a story and kind of says, "Oh, I want to tell a story," and then never says, "Hey, let's do it on Tuesday." Bailey, would you please pick a day and get on here? But this is the thing. Everybody's welcome. Dude, so here's the thing. Just get me on Discord or send me an email, troublemindsradio@gmail.com, and just brief me on what the story is, just like some points. I'll get some articles that back it up, so we can kind of just fill the time, so we don't have to just put all the pressure on you to tell a story. So I can kind of derail and give you a little bit of breathing time. So we can talk about this, dude. We could do an entire show and talk about your story. Okay, like that's the best
Absolutely.
part. Absolutely,
and I'll give you one little preview. And
okay, let's do it.
This is true. It's just one. I ended up in the emergency room, and it's written down on paper. I asked the nurse what dimension I was in. I was out of my mind, and as fast as it came, it went, and that's what led to the whole story. But I'm going to go ahead and I got to clean up my beer bottles, and I'm going to go get some sleep. But
cheers,
I appreciate you having me on, and you'll definitely hear from me again. So
yeah. Thanks for the call. Please do. Let me know. We'll set it up. Friday is the best time for you. Next Friday, the following Friday, whatever. You let me know. We'll set it up. We've done it before with people. We'll continue to do it with people. This goes out to everybody out there. If you're listening to this show, this is not my show. This is your show. This is our show. Okay? If you have a story to tell, you have me as backup. I can blabber on for hours on end, okay? So there's no reason to be nervous. Get on here. I will support you. Let's tell a good story, and let's get it out there. Let's make sure that people understand we're not insane. These things happen. Beechwood, thank you so much for the call, my man.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you, my man.
You tell me when. Have a good night. Tell Boston they can keep their snow. Have a good night, my man.
We'll keep it strange out here, man.
Yes.
Take it easy.
Oh, yes, you too. Have a good night. There you go. That was Beechwood from Massachusetts, and it's as simple as that, right? Simple as that. You call me, you get on the show, we have a good time, and we tell some ghost stories or some alien stories, some interdimensional stories, or we just shoot the shit and slap each other in the back and drink a beer, and it's all good. It's all the same. Isn't it all the same in the end? It's all about bringing people together and having a good time, and that's really what this is all about. In the end, it ends, and we're done. So one more time, I don't care what you think. I really don't. Meaning that believe the aliens are there, believe they're not, believe there's some combination of the two. The truth is never as binary as it seems, in my opinion, but it's not up to me. It's up to you. You decide. I'm trying to bring the information, trying to bring a coherent narrative to think about, not to make a point, all right? Not to like, aha, here's the facts. I don't know about that. But I do know, well, I do hope you had a good time tonight. I do hope you'll have a good time next time when we do it again. Tuesdays, Fridays, 8 p.m. Pacific, we're going to do it again. God willing, 5 days a week, Conspiracy News on Twitch. If you haven't joined us yet, I still haven't even found my sea legs yet. It's a little bit weird, right? So like with this show, like we start and I know exactly what to say. When that show starts, I'm like, So we're still getting it right over there, but when we get it right, it's going to be hot too. We got some hot moments over there. There's some crazy shit happening in the world that we don't talk about on this show because there's not enough time. See, the phone line just died. I think that's the technocracy telling me, shut your mouth, Michael Strange. Way too much truth up in this hizzy. All right, so meaning that it's done. We're over. This show is finished for the evening. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks for being here. And catch us for the next one. That'll be Tuesday. If you have a story to tell, if you have an experience, if you've seen a UFO, if you've seen an alien, if you've seen a ghost, if you've seen a Bigfoot or a cryptid or a howler, an Ozark howler or a hellhound or a this or that, if you've seen something you can't explain and you'd like to tell the story, I am officially inviting you on this show. You don't have to be Linda Moulton Howe. You don't have to stay for 3 hours if it's a short story. You don't have to do any of that. If you want 30 minutes with me and to tell the story, you got it. If you want the whole 3 hours times multiple episodes, you got it. All right? That's the beauty of this. Nobody tells us what to say. Nobody tells us how long to talk about it. And if they do, they can jump off because we're going to do what we need to do. Right? Right? All right. Space Force. Right? Space Force. I think I have one more thing. One more thing, and then we're finished. Let's do this. Let's end it this way, right here. Where's it at? Here we go. This is how we're going to end this. You guys are the best. I'm going to do the outro real fast here before we start this because this is amazing on the way out. Thank you again for everybody, all your enthusiasm. all your calls, all the chat, all the encouragement. Like I said, like I always say, if without all of us together, I'm just in here mumbling to myself in the corner. And while it is stimulating in my brain, it's a hell of a lot less fun. So thank you so much. We'll see you Tuesday. We're going to continue to do this. If you like this show and these ideas, we're doing 5 days a week on Twitch at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. If you can't catch it live, catch the archives. They go up on YouTube as well. Tons of good information. It's a little less alien-centric, a little more real world, but we're going to start mixing that up and adding some weird shit too. So here we go. As we finish this out, thank you. God bless. Be safe. Frequencies, vibrations, whatever it is you believe, make sure they're good stuff. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. For Michael Strange, happy holidays and all that good shit, but we'll be back Tuesday. And as we finish, this is the outro music. All right, it seems too abrupt. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are the best. We're going to finish this up just like this, like we always do. Some outro music. Have a good night. We'll see you all on Tuesday. Again, check us out on Conspiracy News with Michael Strange on Twitch. It'll be on YouTube as well. TroubledMinds.org is the official website. Thanks for being here. You guys are amazing. It makes this all a tremendous pleasure. So let's finish with how about something a little ridiculous, and everybody have a good night. Sleep well. Be good to yourselves. Be good to your family. Be good to your friends. Be good to everybody. And we'll catch you very soon. No, I think we started with that. Let's do, what's the other one? 80s? This is an 80s. Let's try this.